This is the Tactical Muffin Top. Muffin Top, Muffin Top, and Comfortably Numb, aka Old Man Butt Wrinkles. I accidentally clicked the wrong button because I don't use StreamYard that much anymore, and I kicked myself out of the chat. Sorry about that. Well, welcome to the show, Meat Spin. This is true. How's everybody doing this evening? Gonna let some people trickle on in over here. Fiend Dog, what up? I wanted to discuss this. Let me Google it. That's not what I want. Okie dokie, he says. Nice. We got 2 people watching here. It's good. Thank you, guys. Let me pull up this video here. I first seen it at Italian Hill. He's a cool dude. Rip Curl this Sunday. Sunday. It's the Muffin Top Chat. What up, Rip? We are just chilling. Doing a Sunday chat. Been a minute since I did that. I've been having fun doing all the videos and stuff lately, so that's good. Thanks, Rip. We're going to be talking about the EBT leeches and things like that, and the threats they're making for the November 1st thefting due to not getting a whole bunch of free stuff. Crashing Kev, what up, brother? I put a pick in self-improvement. All right, nice. I like that. Joining the treadmill club. Nice, dude. Dude, hell yeah. Good job, Comfortably Numb. That's what I'm talking about, brother. I'm going to hit my diet and my working out hard this week in preparation for my surgery. Try and get myself the best shake at it. So that's good. So these the threats that are being made, and I have seen multiple channels say it. Even Pinball Preparedness said it. I haven't seen any official notice from Walmart or anything like that, but there's the rumor mill running that they want to shut down the stores and do online orders only, and only allow employees in the building because of all the threats being made online of stealing. Which, if you guys don't know, most grocery stores, even the big chain ones, they don't go into profitability until Black Friday. That's why Black Friday is such a big holiday. That's why they do all the deals. Is it's the first month, well, it's the first day rather of the year that they actually go from the red operating in the negative to the positive. So they switch to black ink. That's the tradition. So you operate a store for almost the full 11 months out of the year. And then roughly your profit margin is the last month of the year for holiday shopping and whatnot, right? So grocery stores don't really operate on a large margin of profit to begin with. Unless they're a big corporate store, like, say, for example, Walmart, the shareholders, they make all the money. It's not like the store's making that much money. Just because it's a big chain store doesn't mean that the store itself is loaded, right? So what the deal is the I just Googled it and I couldn't find anything credible. I've seen a lot of threads on Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, whatever your flavor social media is. There's all the threads, but I haven't seen an official statement from Walmart yet. And I would assume if a large corporation like Walmart were to put this in effect, that a lot of other stores would as well. And we're joined by a wild Pat Wright. What up, brother?
Hey yo. Oh,
Hey-o.
how you been?
Well, it's a lot colder in Nebraska than Florida, that's for sure.
Yeah, we experience that shock once a week going out west to Arizona and stuff. It's usually real warm out there, and then we got back here and it was like 40 degrees when we got home.
Yep. And I don't know how much of this you caught before you hopped in. Have you seen anything on the? I posted one in general that we'll review, but you know what? Maybe we'll just watch this.
I've been hearing rumblings for like a year that that's the reason for the big push to put in the what do they call it, the curbside delivery.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hearing for over a year. That's why there was such a explosion, like it all happened all at the same time.
Yes,
like
I also think
put them in
nefarious reasons. Also, I was told it was for the next quote unquote pandemic. Yeah. Yes, because you can't see a shortage in your normal food shelves on your foot traffic if you don't have the foot traffic option anymore, right? So they can say, oh, yeah, we got plenty of stuff. You don't need to worry. But if you actually go in the store and it's like 80% empty, you might freak out a little bit, right?
And also, it prevents a run on the store at all. Like there won't be a toilet paper rush like there was last time, because you can't. If the supply is somewhat limited, they're just gonna make it so you can only buy a couple. I mean, my wife is addicted to that.
See you, Mac. Have a good one at church, bro.
My wife is addicted to the Walmart delivery thing.
I use it very occasionally.
Last time they had a big sale on that canned food. They only let you get so much, where if you went in the store, I mean, you could just pick up whatever you want.
Right. My favorite time to use that is after Thanksgiving sale. I don't know if you remember my video from last year, but I ordered all that the store said they had quantity of the large family size cream of mushroom and cream of chicken soups, because that's when I stock up for the year. It's the best price. And I ordered all great value, but they didn't have enough great value that they said that they did in stock. So I got Campbell's. So I got for like dirt cheap, because their policy is they have to substitute with the next closest item, right? So yeah. I got, a $4 bump in my quality of can purchase, supposedly, to what I was paying, but I still paid my price. So that was awesome. I think I got, man, I can't remember. I still have some of it. I haven't even eaten through all that yet, but I'll be doing that again. I can't remember. I think I got four flats of the big cans, and I got a bunch of little cans. Regular.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago, we got a big old mess of cans because they were on sale.
Right.
I think we ended up giving half of it to my son, but.
Good morning, Jasmine. Have fun in India. Yeah, man. Well, let's run this thing, and we can get a collective thought process on it, right? Sound good?
Yep.
I have to remember how to do this on StreamYard.
Let me turn this off.
Sure, you can mute yourself. Can you see it? Hopefully.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, cool. All right, this is from my buddy Italian Hillbilly. I like this guy's channel. If you haven't subbed to him, he's a cool dude. Check him out.
And you know that the food stamps is not working in November, and you see people stealing and you snitch, you deserve to die.
And please follow me to that motherfucking car.
All right. First off, threatening violence. That guy was threatening violence to the employees seeing the theft, okay? That's messed up.
If you feeling motherfucking froggy, bitch, you ain't gonna make it back to your motherfucking position at that fucking Walmart store. I'm telling you.
If they stop my food stamps.
That guy was saying she's gonna rob shit out of the parking lot. Yeah?
Me and my man will be at the grocery store walking out with two big ass carts, and ain't bet nobody better do nothing because my man coming hard behind me, and it only take him one time to punch your ass.
And I'm gonna have one of my cousins with me that'll punch your ass so hard you gonna think a Jet 2 holiday hit your bitch ass if you think I ain't finna walk out that store.
You remember how many homes about to get broken into?
All right. They're already talking about coming in numbers, and I've been saying for a while the group shopping method, especially older elderly people. If you know you got granny or your mom or whatever who's elderly going to go out by themselves at this time, you need to volunteer to go with them, because most people's moms don't be packing like the rest of us are packing, right? Just saying. Just saying.
You know how many people about to get knocked over the head coming out their job or leaving the ATM or the bank? I'm going.
That right there, the next one, yeah. So I'm doing the pauses, so first off, we don't get strikes or anything. But they're already talking about theft. This next guy's talking about car theft. They're talking about hitting ATMs already. They're talking about hitting people coming out of their jobs. So if you have you maybe you dress nicer for your job and they're not, they're already talking about coming in numbers. I think this little unrest push is a very calculated deal to where you don't have the freedom to go into a store anymore is what they want. I think they're going to use this to their advantage. We'll talk about that. That's my deep dive in it. That's what I'm really thinking.
Going back to stealing, I don't care. If you leave your car unlocked in the middle of the night, lock it, bitch. Because if I don't get no food stamps, best believe me and mine's gonna eat regardless.
I need my fucking EBT, yo. I need my money, yo. I need my fucking EBT.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350.
Okay, first off, that's disgusting. I just want to say that. Second off, what he says next is even more fucked up.
Now, what am I supposed to do?
I used to get $740 a month for my two kids. And we not getting EBT no more. They took the EBT. They saying I got to work 20 hours a week. I'm not working for nobody. Get the fuck out of here.
You're going to tell me that my daughter doesn't deserve a popsicle? You're going to tell me I don't deserve to get brownies?
Yes, that's not essential food. Thank you very much.
I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers, but I'm getting my shit, because I'm going to tell you just like this on Jesus Lamar motherfucking Christ. I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet, and I dare a bitch try to stop me from walking out that motherfucking store with my groceries. Baby, I'm 250 pounds solid. I am going.
Solid. Solid, she says. No. I don't know how to tell you this, but steel toes in a helmet do not stop a 9 milli, homie. That's my favorite one.
Well, I'm not shooting anybody over Walmart's groceries, that's for sure.
I'm not either, but just saying. Like, she thinks she's tough talking that shit. Like,
yeah.
Lady, we be packing more on our hips than monetarily wise than what you're probably rolling up in that fucking beater.
Yeah, I've seen.
Go in that store, get everything I get regularly. I'm going to bag my shit up, swipe my link card. As soon as that bitch say, ain't no pending balance on there, I'm going to walk the fuck out.
If I don't receive my benefits this month, the food stamps, I feel bad for the motherfucking shop, right? I will just be rolling my cart out that bitch like I pay for it.
I'm going to be stealing like it ain't no tomorrow.
We gonna loot. We gonna get fucking crazy, right, TikTok? You feel me?
Y'all better stay the fuck out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for shit.
Either you're going to give us food or we're going to take that bitch.
This is what Americans, taxpayer, work for us. They work for me.
Now they're telling me I have.
No. That's enough of that. That's disgusting, and I don't stand for that.
That last one that was just playing, I saw a longer version of it where it was all put together, and I think a lot of these are just the attention seeking part of it. I'm not saying that there's not going to be people acting a fool. I mean, we've been saying it for years. Like, every time there's a government shutdown, or, we're preppers, we're looking across the horizon. How many times have you said, what's going to happen when when the government fails or whatever, what's going to happen when these thousands or millions of people that were getting food for nothing don't get food anymore? They're going to start acting the way they're threatening to act right there.
Ding, ding. And, you know, I think part of this is they could be Soros paid to be doing these videos if they're bigger influencers, you know. I could see that. But these people, they've been playing the victimized role so much, and now they're on the entitlement card that they think that they deserve our shit. The people saying that they don't need to work, that other guy was going to say, I have 4 or 5 kids. I want to spend time with them. I'm not going to go work 40, 50 hours a week. Everybody I know that has multiple kids, I know people that have disabled children. I know people that have more than 5 kids, and they work their fingers to the bone, and all of them have 2 fucking jobs. Do you know how fucked that is, that these guys are bragging about they're not going to work because they want to spend time with their kids, or they don't need to work 20 hours to receive benefits?
Yeah. A lot of the dudes on there, like, I can sort of see when it's like the mothers, because it's not worth it to work. Like, if they would go to work, not only would they lose their benefits, but they wouldn't make enough to freaking feed their kids anyway. So I can see that coming from that perspective. But those dudes, like the guy in the white that was there last, and the other guy before that was on there before him, he was walking in the video, you know, so I know he ain't disabled. So what are you doing on EBT is what I want to know.
Well, Pat, I walk, and I'm technically should be on a 10-pound weight limit the rest of my life, but I waived that because I'm not a fucking pussy. But yeah, I couldn't get food stamps. I couldn't get anything. I couldn't get unemployment, nothing when I got hurt, and I had to say fuck it, write it off, and get back to work so I could exist.
I was in the same boat. When I wrecked my dirt bike and tore my ACL. My wife wasn't working. She had to go back to work, and we lived in Pennsylvania, which is considered a welfare state, because I got cousins that, you know, get $15,000 back in taxes because they got a bunch of kids. Like, I know you never paid that much in. You know, my brother-in-law, they've been on getting Social Security checks for their kids, you know, for the past 18 years or whatever. And then the time I got hurt, like, I think they gave us like not even $100 worth of food stamps. And in order for them to help us out anymore, they wanted me to drive 45 minutes to their job training something or other. And then they would give us $90 a week. Like, it's going to cost me more in gas than that.
Yeah.
And the reason that we couldn't get any help is because I had some stuff. Like, I had an old junk Jeep in my backyard, and we had 2 cars. They're like, well, you can sell that Jeep, you can sell one of your cars, and then come talk to us later. Like, geez, nice.
Thanks. Yeah, man, it's the people, and somebody nailed it, Section 8 generational housing. The people that have been doing it for years, like grandma taught them how to never have to do anything but sit at home and watch Netflix and eat gummy bears, you know. And then they just they do all the wants in lives, and I don't understand how some of these chicks have so many kids, because what we call our Section 8 houses here, we call it the slut huts. And it's all the ugly fat bitches. Like, I don't know who can get a boner up to Shrek, but they all have 6, 8, 10. I know a gal, she has 19 kids. Okay. And this gal, I mean, she's been rode hard and put away wet. Like, that was her beginning, middle, and end employment. Was she was knocked up by a bunch of different guys, and she's never worked a day in her life. And when she's about to run out of money on the one, I think they turned 19 in Nebraska when you stop getting paid by the state, she has another kid that year before she runs out of getting paid on a child. Like, her kids are her meal tickets. That's her job, is to squirt one out. And it's disgusting.
Well, that's what my brother-in-law did. They said his kids had Asperger's or autism or one of them, and they ended up getting Social Security checks their whole life.
Dude, that's so messed up. Like I understand like having a disabled kid or whatever, like a big accident.
And they're not. They're not.
But there's people that abuse it, man. It's sick.
At least two of them are perfectly healthy. The only reason they have any kind of issues is because their parents didn't raise them very well. Like the oldest, they teased the hell out of him until he was scared to death of everything.
Yeah. Damn, man. It's messed up, but this, I believe, is a little bit more complex than just people flapping their gums. I think this is going to be a weaponized means to put a further divide. And I think that the use of the National Guard, the way Trump's doing it, and I'm not an anti-Trump guy, I'm an American guy first. Okay, I really don't give a fuck who's at the helm of the ship at the end of the day. It's the people. And I seen a sweet quote. Let me get off topics. Let me squirrel here. It said, this world's ran by 12 families, and there's 8 billion of us or something like that. 8 billion of us versus 12 families. Okay, they know that, just like in the movie Bug's Life, when the guy's doing the little grain thing, and he's like, oh, that didn't hurt, whatever, and the guy unscrews the cap, and it crushes the two grasshoppers, right? I don't know if you've seen that movie, but there's more of us than the bigger bugs. And the only way they can make sure we don't work out is to divide us. Oh, man, you like Xbox versus PlayStation versus PC. Oh, man, you like this sports ball team. Oh, man, you like this car brand. Oh, man, you're this color. You're that color. You're this religion. You like pop. You like country, whatever. Every little thing that you can put somebody in a quarter and a check mark against somebody else, they make sure we all go. Samsung versus iPhone, like everything. Democrat, Republican, everything is a choice to split you. There is no unification on purpose, right? I think this is going to be a tool used to implement more National Guard and more stores not having to be open, which is going to reduce staff because they're going to switch to drones. I think this is a bigger play. I really do. I think this is the spark that's going to light that tip of that black cat, and then we're going to be stuck holding the black cat, and it's going to go off in our hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the difference between the grasshoppers and the freaking Soroses of the world, though, is they're not standing in front of you. They're doing these plans from far, far away, and you'll never reach them. So instead of
Sunday gate chats, not anymore. I think Honda usually does it at like 9 o'clock. I make sure I'm doing it well before his shift.
Instead of focusing on what's broken and what you gotta focus on what you can control. I like what you were saying about if you have elderly parents or something like that, maybe don't let them go to the grocery store alone.
Mm-hmm.
My wife just, I'm pretty sure she was just telling me earlier today, talking about all these EBT people talking about how they're going to rob people. She likes to use the Walmart delivery guys to get groceries, and that would be a quick, easy haul right there, wouldn't it? Just wait for one of those Spark drivers to leave.
Yeah, they've already, since the rumor mill went about on the threads and stuff, they said that they were going to hit the people that were doing because like at some of them you stop and then they come to your trunk or whatever and fill it. They said they were just going to go and rob right off like the little flatbed thing they brought out. There's people saying if we see somebody with a big cart, they're just going to jack the fucking cart and knock whoever out with a bunch of people with them. Now think about that. If it's a mom, even if it's you versus 6 dudes and you get cold clocked by 4 guys behind you, it don't matter what you're carrying, whatever. If you have a child with you in the cart, whatever you are, man, woman, and you have 6 people versus you, are you going to flip the switch and start going pew pew activated? Probably fucking not. I don't want my kid to be there. I'm going to fucking take my kid out and say, fuck this cart. And I'm assuming that's what they're betting on, because they're either going to target the elderly, because they never go with the dude that has gym rat shirt on with the fucking muscles the size of their torso. They're never going to go for the jack guy. They're always going to go for the most vulnerable. So they're going to go for the gal with like a fucking foot brace on and a kid in the cart, right?
Yeah.
They never want it to be fair. They're always going to stack the deck against the victim.
Like, I think the saying, don't look like a victim, don't be a victim. You got to keep your nose out of your phone and your head on a swivel. And there's, what do they call those? Transitionary zones, like when you're getting in or out of your car, when you're entering or leaving a building, things like that.
Right. Missouri, I sent you a link, brother, if you want to hop in. There's a time to be a man, and you need to walk with your head held high, no earbuds in. You need to have your shoulders back, and you need to walk and carry yourself like a fucking man in today's day and age. And if you're with a gal, I don't care if she's from your church. I don't care if she's from school. I don't care if she's your student's teacher. If you see a gal by herself and you know them and you don't have anything super pressing that you need to get in and get the fuck out, you need to take the time and go with them. If you see even if you're not in a hurry, say it's your day off and you're going grocery shopping and you see little old granny with one of those shitty Walmart carts and a cane, maybe you just go ahead and hang out with that gal and offer to take the groceries to her car. You know what I mean? It's time to be the sheepdog in a chivalry uniform.
I can remember, this is probably a couple years ago now, we had stopped at some gun shop that I'd never been to before. And just as I was about to walk out the door, like a single, this is going to sound terrible, but I'm going to say it anyway. A single YN came in with his pants sagging and started looking around the store, and he was asking the guy about, extendos and all kinds of stuff. I just got a weird vibe off of him, not just because of the color of his skin, just a weird vibe about how he was walking and everything. And instead of leaving that store, I ended up staying in there. And, the guy acted kind of weird and then left the store. And the guy kind of like looked at me and gave me one of those nods. Like he knew exactly what was up.
Yep. Usually if you get that sixth sense, that gut feeling, you're probably right on. If you get that feeling that you're being followed, if you get that feeling that you shouldn't stop at that ATM, if you get that feeling, guys, it's going to come really soon. This is going to happen at the gas pump soon because of the world events. Okay. There's going to be a run on fuel. If there's a run on food, there's a run on fuel. And then you know what that means. If there's a run on fuel, it's going to be even longer time for you to get shit at the store because trucks can't fill up. And then if you have a truck that's dead on the interstate, what's going to happen to that fucking truck, Pat?
It's going to block the whole shit.
It's going to block the whole shit. People are going to get antsy, but then some people, opportunists, criminals, they're going to take advantage of that truck, which means it's going to be even longer before you get shit. And you know what's going to happen in that amount of time? You're never going to be able to go to a store again without having a National Guard presence around it. And as soon as you think that we're still doing okay, right, you're going to get somebody that's not conservative in the White House, and that's going to be pressed to our throats. That boot press is going to come our way one day or the other. Okay, the pendulum swing always happens. Just because it's swinging our way now, and you want to root, yeah, hurrah, hurrah, whatever, the pendulum's going to swing back, and it always bites us in the ass 10 times harder than our swing, because we're normal people, and we don't go for the throat for fucking everything. Right? You know what I mean? So keep that in mind, that this will be used against us probably tenfold. What's up, Lawfully?
Late and gay.
What?
Better late than never.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that Cheech from Ghostbusters? Better late than never. Yeah.
I've been followed from the store a couple times. I drove all over the damn place to lose them. Yeah. Watch if you're being followed. And air tags are super easy now, man. Like, I would say if you're a super hot chick or you're a super hot gay dude or whatever, if you're whatever somebody's flavor is, or your kids are somebody's flavor, like, you need to watch what's following you now. Like, it's so fucking hard. And even you might not even see it. Like, if they have good enough shit, they can track you far enough away that they'll just wait till you park. So consider that factor. But I don't see that being an issue, at the moment. But if it gets to a political hotbed again, I could see Antifa starting to tag people. They're already doxing the shit out of people that they can find. If you got a Glock sticker on your car or whatever, it would be real easy for a blue-haired dude to slap an air tag on it and follow you home. What happens at that location? Probably not in their best interest, but
I don't think that's their modus operandi.
No, I don't think that's here now and at this point in the ball field, but I see it within realm of possibility in the next 5 years. Pretty easy.
The time that the group wanted to act like that, you wouldn't have cell service anymore.
I hope so.
There's write a Tom Clancy novel if you want, but don't be worried about way out there stuff. Go ahead, Pat. I'll shut up.
No, you're fine. That's a tactic that's being used right now. People just roam the parking lot. They look for the nice vehicles, and then they air tag that shit, or they just follow them home. So that's not a Tom Clancy novel. People do that right now.
Gnostic Nomad said, "How about the dead sexy motherfucker like myself? Should I worry? You should be wearing a chastity belt, and you should be having a butt plug inserted with teeth on it, so nobody can get to you, nasty." Just saying. Anti-rape
groups of thieves or muggers or whatever are doing stuff like that with air tags, but like, it's not Antifa's modus operandi to like track down one person because they have a Glock sticker on their window. That's not what they're after.
I'm not saying
they're after political motivation. And in the future,
you have your Trump shit on your truck. Okay, there you go.
Whatever. It's they're not looking to hunt down one random person. There's the emotional, like, in the heat of the moment thing, like the incident where they're like, "Hey, are you a Trump voter?" And the guy said, "Yeah," and he bam, bam. But that's because they were like in each other's space, like at a protest. It's not like they're out packs of 3 or 4 of them, like hit squad style, looking to take down individual political opposing view average Joe in daily life.
Today, no. Well, in certain areas, no. I see this being an issue eventually. But currently it's for the food, right? And Robert RFKJ is doing a fantastic job at removing things that they can buy with food stamps. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with this, but he is removing candy, soda, like this one. I seen this super fat chick. She was at a Walmart, and the gal's like, "What do you mean I can't buy this stuff with my EBT?" And like, she had EBT as the whatever beginning of the month, whatever end of the month, I don't know. She's like, I just got it. It wouldn't even let her buy the juice that she had in the cart because it is considered not healthy. Okay, the people buying all this crap aren't going and buying carrots and broccoli and cauliflower and, some steaks and some chicken. Like, they're going and they're buying the processed fucking Oreos and the chips and the junk food. And then if they're smart enough and they have a shitload, they're buying steak and lobster and shit. I've seen it in the carts all the time at Sam's. Like, these people got sushi, they got steak, they got ribs, they got all this crap, and I'm over here like with my pork loin and 2 rotisserie chickens thinking the fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's removing the stuff that qualifies.
Yeah, which is good.
And I agree. But simultaneously, you can't blame them. Like, if somebody gave you a card for food and it worked on something, you would buy that too. I mean,
yeah, I've seen it work for alcohol here, which pisses me off. I've seen it work. The gal used EBT and she bought 2 big ass fucking bottles of vodka. Like, Okay, that's not what it's for.
It works on Monster Energy drinks here.
Yeah, why the fuck do you need? Yeah, it should, in my opinion, it should be for single ingredients like eggs, milk, bread, whatever, and you make your shit at home. Yeah, maybe like some mac and cheese or pasta sauce. Cool. Okay, you could probably do that. Not fucking Funyuns and Doritos, man.
My wife used to see it when she worked in the grocery store. They figured out a trick at her place. They weren't allowed to buy anything hot, so they'd buy however much of the uncooked shrimp, and after they bought it, they would just take it back to the deli and they would steam it for them. Because there were, they didn't upcharge for the steamed version of it. It was the same price, so they didn't care.
And I'm fine with that.
Interesting. I don't know. I just see this basically. If this plays out the way I'm kind of putting the dots together, I see basically stores do what Amazon did and delete all the humanoid workers. Yeah, and they go to robots. Very minimal human contact. All the warehouse stores are already set up their warehouses. You have a few people that run what you need to human contact, via in the drop off, whatever, where they just do the delivery. And then it just has armed guards. You just can't go in. If you think you're desperate enough, you're going to try. You got an armed guard. You know what I mean? Like, I think that dystopian future is probably more within the realm of possibility, depending on what happens here, than what a lot of people think. And if you get a lot of bad actors in multiple states, I say if you hit 60% of the U.S. with people doing something like this, I think it would fast track it to within a couple of years.
Before the proliferation of automobiles, you didn't park your car and walk into a grocery store and shop and fill up the cart and check out and go load your car up. You still had, you ordered it and it got delivered to your house, or you had like the general store, and there weren't 11 brands of the same food item, and you picked from the store brand and the 12 name brands and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you just ordered a pound of peanuts and the guy like scooped you out a pound of peanuts and sacked it up. I don't want to go back to some. I don't want to go back to the robot version of that.
I want to expand off that, because with that was in a small old westy towns, kind of what I'm envisioning. The problem with that is you had to be around that town within means of getting there at a reasonable time without running out. Okay, if they go and starve the rural population by removing all the little mom and pop shops due to finances, and then they only allow the big box stores with the automated version of the 1800s thing, and they decide, hey, here's the radius we're setting for delivery, and you're outside the radius and you can't go in and get it. What does that force you to do? It forces you to come to the 15-minute city. That's the end game. It's literally the step before that. It's like Domino's. If you live 16 miles outside of town and they have a 15-mile delivery, guess what? They're not delivering to your house. If you make all grocery stores that way, same fucking thing. And if you can't grow enough to feed yourself at that distance, and you cannot physically go and take your digital dollar anywhere else, because eventually you're not going to be able to go do barter or whatever, because that's what the digital dollar is doing. They are removing your ability to barter on the side without anybody knowing and keeping right, whatever, however many trails. Yeah, sure, I can go to Walmart right now with my credit card, swipe it, go buy what I need, and pay it off before I get paid, before the payment, whatever. When you add this small implement here, this next small implement there, and you remove those two options, you are now locked into the beast system. You now have to live within a radius that you can get your food delivered, because most of us cannot produce enough food to feed our entire family for the year, and feed the livestock, and have the land to feed the livestock, and all that crap. There's a very limited number of people that can operate outside that system I just explained. What that does is it forces you into servitude.
I think pretty quickly though after that, like the initial rush of all that happening would probably suck, but I think communities would pop up relatively quickly of like mutual assistance group kind of thing, where you get a pod of 10 to 12 families, and you know, like you would, one person specializes in the cows, the other person specializes in this, and then everyone just kind of trades. I guess, like, for lack of a better word, a little commune or something.
Mm-hmm. I think that was what I've been pushing for basically my entire life. And now that's kind of being swept away. So I'm trying to find my quick alternative, and it's not a quick alternative. As you guys know, if you try to go buy property.
Yeah, we're on that journey. I'm pretty much got my wife convinced. I'm setting myself a timeline, April or May. I plan to put my house up for sale.
What up, KP?
But I don't want to wait that long, so I think I'm going to do a HELOC. Go ahead and buy the property and then just pay it all off when we sell the house.
Yeah. Now you got to have enough buddies that can come with you and specialize in what they're going to specialize in.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
That's the super tough part.
Because I'm looking.
We're all moving in with grit and grace. Grit, we're moving in.
I'm looking at right around 30 acres is what I want to spend in the area that I want to be. Because for reasons I've said in the past, I'm weird. Like, I think the earth might tilt and the middle of the country might flood. So I'm staying in the mountains. I'm not going. Because I saw a couple of there's a giant ranch that got all cut up out in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Into like 20, 30, 40 acre lots, and they only want like $5,000 down, and then you pay 400 something a month for these places. It was pretty tempting because it's beautiful, and it's a giant like community thing. There's a well that everyone can use, so you don't even have to put a well in right away. But yeah, I'm not going west. I'm staying in the mountains.
I'm offended.
and it's tough. Like, how far out in the boonies do you want to be? Like, I kind of want to be pretty far out in the boonies, but then you're stuck by yourself.
Yep.
As things collapse further and further, and people will start moving closer and closer to the cities.
I think that and they've already done it with restricting what you can post and whatever due to jail time and stuff. But I think, as we know, all the riots of all the countries that have collapsed this year, France twice, Argentina, I don't know, a whole bunch of fucking countries, right? The UK, they're gonna start restricting outported content of like what's happening, so you can't get a real feel. So as they're playing Jenga and pushing pieces out, they're gonna let us only, they get the two on the side. We're gonna have to start pushing the ones in the middle, and we already know the tower's gonna topple. So what do you do with that? Say the timeline is 5 to 10 years, which I think is pretty realistic if things don't get rewritten even quicker with WW Trace, because that pot's on the freaking stove right now, boiling, man. It's rolling. It's getting ready to go over the top. Whatever happens in that scenario is going to speed this system into existence, right?
I can see. I'm less worried about World War III. Like, the worst thing that's going to happen to us here is maybe supply chain issues. And I mean, you're in your journey with your garden and everything. It's like, you're not going to starve to death. I mean, it could affect your job if you can't get the components. If you just can't get the components you need to do your job, I mean, they're going to go out of business, or they're going to lay people off. So I guess that's probably worst case scenario. I'm more worried about the Democrat cities right now that are refusing to follow federal laws. And I'm more worried about like a second civil war, second revolution, or third revolution, whatever you want to call it. Because I can see a scenario building pretty quickly. What Tim Pool said it as an example when it comes to like things like abortion, but you can use it as immigration. You know, if a woman lives in a state where abortion is illegal, but she lives next to a state where abortion is up to 9 months, and she runs away to that state to get an abortion, but the man wants the baby, and the man goes to the law, the law enforcement of the state where it's illegal, and says, "Please help me, go get the save my baby." You know, what are they going to do? Oh, sorry, she crossed state lines.
I think that what we just discussed earlier with the implement of the National Guard, if you don't think that WWE Trace isn't going to happen, I think we're delusional. And
I'm not saying it won't happen, but I'm less worried. It's not less worried about how much it will affect me.
Well,
I could lose my job.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will, and you're right, exactly. Which means people's standard of living is going to go down because they're going to have to take the next batch of jobs. Okay. Then you implement the AI robots. Okay, that's even less jobs while we're in WWE Trace. So you either sign up for the meat grinder to get paid, or you now set in the new quote-unquote martial law because they had to lock down all the stores because even more people are desperate than before, and nobody can get shit. So the only way they can track all the criminals that aren't signing up for the military are digital ID. So you do all that while WWE Trace is firing up. How many people are going to suck up their pride, their individuality, their whatever to... We already all know it. None of us is going to go look at our family member when they're starving and they say, "I'm hungry," blank. You know, father, husband, dad, whatever. You're going to go do whatever you need to do to feed them. And if that means you have to sign up for the Empire to go get paid, like Han Solo, right? Solo, the fucking whole planet's broke. And the only way to make good money is you go work for the Empire and you never come back to that shithole. I think that's going to be every country.
I feel like the only answer to being, subject to the system is to remove yourself from the system. And that's what I plan to do, at least by the springtime. But you can't do it alone. I watched a video not that long ago. It was a single family. They had a couple of kids, the husband and the wife. They made the jump and tried to go like fully self-sustained, and you can't do it.
It's really hard.
You have to, with younger kids like 8, 9 years old, they can do things, but they're not grown adult men. Like every member of the family has to work from sun up to sundown just to survive. And then what happens when you sprain your ankle? You're just fucked. So you can't do it alone. That's why I'm looking for the amount of land that I am, because I'm hoping to make my own commune with just my family.
Yep. What do you think, Lawful? You've been pretty quiet. You don't seem to like to work on the next dystopian level that I'm at, but
I just don't like bouncing from the near immediate maybe threat of food riots and then jump back over to it's whatever.
Sure. Yeah, I understand. Well, let's walk it back. Let's go back to the first immediate.
Well, it's like
what I see it as is a stepping stone into the next step 1 through 3.
You're at where you're at, and we've talked about nearly every conceivable and possible major catastrophe. And really the chips will fall where they may.
Yeah. There's no doubt in that. I mean, we can't control exactly where they fall, other than doing what we do now is to prep. So let's walk it back a little bit and take it down that direction. I know several people have told me they picked up extra grocery trips here before this in preparation. Other channels, like go back to Pinball because he's a bigger one. A lot of people watch him over me. They did a run, their standard 10-day run, and got a little extra and whatever. I drove by our Walmart 2 times today because it took me, I had to go to town twice, and it was packed all the way out, the whole parking lot. Usually it's about 3/4 full on the weekends. It's a little bit busier, about half full on a weekday. So I'm excited to see what it looks like when I get off work Monday on my way out and kind of gauge, I don't know, public numbers, I guess, that way. But I'm also going to be doing a stock run, and I just did a video today. I took a Bear Creek thing of broccoli cheddar soup. I took a cheese grater. I cheese grated 2 carrots, put that in, and a bag of frozen broccoli. Okay, that whole meal costs probably less than $5. It's going to be my lunch for 5 days this week. Like you can eat on super cheap budget. You know what I mean? Like it's very doable. So finding ways, and I was thinking, because I had some ramen packets, and I was like, if you were in SHTF or whatever, or just even hard times economically, right? So you start getting the issues where you can't get everything in the stores. You start having less options. The supply chain's starting to take longer. That little snippet of it. I was thinking, okay, if you had this and you threw in a pack of ramen or like a thing of mac and cheese with this, you could feed a lot of people out of this for less than $10. You know what I mean? So there's ways to do it. There's way. So I mean, I love the Bear Creek soups. I stack a shitload of them because they make a lot of food. You take all that, take a scoop of it, put it on rice or mashed potatoes or whatever. It goes even further. So there's ways that you could stack that way cheaply that could be meals. So maybe we could throw meal options out, or you can throw out like what we were talking about the other night when I was smoking the Stogie Mag. You were talking about with the food stamp thing, you were looking at cost-effective ways to give to kids that way. Yeah, the ramen, the oatmeal, a potato, an apple, carrots, those are all dirt cheap. You can go home and make something. I mean, you could slice up a carrot and throw it in some ramen. That's going to be a lot better than nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we did a year's worth of spaghetti dinners, pretty cheap. You think it takes like 2 containers of spaghetti noodles to feed your family? Think you eat spaghetti once a week, you just go buy like 104 boxes of spaghetti and 54 jars of sauce. You've got spaghetti for a year. And I remember when we did that, it wasn't that much.
Right.
And we put all that away. Now, if we need spaghetti sauce or something, I've broken into it before rather than go to the store. But you can do that with all kinds of things. I used to say it all the time, prep what you eat and then eat what you prep. What I meant by that was freaking go buy what you already eat and then keep turning it over, eating the oldest first. Because I feel like a giant shock to your system if something were to go awry. Like anybody who's got kids knows that kids don't deal with change very well. You know, if he gets Dino Nuggies and mac and cheese every other day, and then all of a sudden you're asking him to eat some bucket food, that's not going to go well.
Right. I agree.
And I think going off of what Lawfully said, we don't need to go, 0 to 100 really quickly. But there was I think it was Eric Prince gave an interview where he was asked, like, he was in some country where like a revolution started or a war or something like that, and he was asked, like, how did it start? And it was slowly and then suddenly, kind of like how you go broke, slowly and then suddenly. So you think like a small issue like the EBT thing, and maybe there's some riots over food and stuff. That doesn't seem like a huge deal. Like, you know, things will cool off. It'll get better in a couple of days. Well, what if it doesn't? There's a Bear keeps saying that there's a persistent 0-day hack, something or other, that's affecting everything connected to the internet, including our government systems. And he's alluded that they're replacing server racks left and right, trying to get rid of this, but it's not working. So I wouldn't put it past any of the enemies of our country, like say China that wants to take over Taiwan. All it's going to take is like a little bit of tinder to say they had nothing to do with the EBT, the food riots that we have. But what if they hit us with these hacks all at the same time? So I'm not saying to, you know, put on your helmet and load your gun. Don't underestimate the gravity of the situation is what I'm trying to say. Like, maybe overreact a little bit.
This is why I like
All
to have
I'm saying is
critical
come up
thinkers.
for air once in a while.
Yeah, this is why I like to have multiple critical thinkers on a panel, because we all think our own direction. I like to think the very long term and try and put all the dots together. Pat somewhere in the middle, and Lawfully's at the utmost first dot. I love this because this is a good think tank, and a lot of other people in the chat can throw in things, and you know. So I'm not knocking any which way or the other, but it's all good stuff. Go for it, Lovely.
The slowly thing, talking about going broke, the slowly thing is that inflation continues. Like it's enough time has not even passed for, I think, for everybody to really take in that their dollar has gone down 20+% of its value in just the last 4 years, 5 years. That's the conservative estimate.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit more than that. I agree with you.
You know, gas prices are low right now. You know, gas and bottled water are like two things people like jump at every time to have a fit about price gouging or whatever. You know, and then you get your state attorney generals involved with prosecuting people for price gouging. But if your foodstuffs in the stores right now actually just in one swoop jumped up to keep up with the inflation level, you'd be suing every food company for price gouging.
Yeah, see that? No,
I think that the political bargaining that's going on right now with both the people like us freaking out about what may happen with, you know, food stamp recipient riots, and then the food stamp recipients thinking that they're going to go without food, and some of them lashing out and getting on the internet and saying that they're going to steal it anyways, which thieves are going to thieve. But like I said,
hang
on your chat last night,
they dumped $50 million into the Harris 2028 campaign. Well, they just pissed that money away. Jesus Christ. Sorry.
My concern is not even the individual food stamp, you know, miffed food stamp recipient stealing a cart of food. It's when 2 carloads of them decide to do it, and then a bunch of other people see them do it, and then before long it turns into an LA-style riot. You know, and they ransack the store. It's not even just that they steal all of the contents; it's that they ransack the infrastructure. And so then that grocery store it's not just to get another truck in and restock it, you know, after we're closed for a day or two. It's that it's physically fucked up, and nobody can shop there for weeks.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna walk it way back to the first bullet point, like I discussed, and you're discussing. that how do we take over countries? We come in and we social engineer things. We create an upheaval. I think that this has been social engineered, and this is exactly what the next puppet master hand wants to pop off. And I think that little bit of irregularity will be enough if you do it in multiple places. You know what I mean? So say the videos we watch, say if that's in 10 different towns, if that happens in 10 different towns, cool. And then you get the copycat, you know, the geoengineering, the herd mentality, the people there, and then, you know, it just compiles on, say it goes for a week. You get a week of 10 cities having issues, 20 cities having issues. That might turn into 2-3 weeks because shipping has to make, you know, adjustments, cuts here and there to try and move more supplies that way for this, that, and the other. Holiday season coming up, whatever other event coming up, it's enough to be quite the hindrance, I think. You know what I mean?
The blame for all of this stops at Congress. This is just them not passing a budget. This is not China. This is not Russia. This just doesn't even go all the way to the top for like the New World Order, whatever big club, and you're not in it. Like it's not even that. It's just Congress playing ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Democrats using these people as a pawn.
It's the yeah, I agree. It's the what up, Gnostic?
They want to get them hungry and pissed off, so that maybe they act a fool for a little while, and so that they show up motivated for the midterms. The Republicans are gonna spin it too and make the Dems look bad, because all the people that go to work every day right now don't. You've got the haves and the have-nots already, or I guess really should say the have a jobs and the don't have a jobs already. You got the middle class it's the middle class versus the beggars and the
lazy
billionaires.
class. Yeah.
Well, and they're pitting us all against each other too. That's the real kick in the ass. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yeah.
That's the social engineering part, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one extra divide. It's fucked up. But welcome to the panel. This is Gnostic Nomad. He's a cool dude, knowledgeable.
How you doing?
He's a hillbilly with a little homestead operation that I'm envious of.
No, that's not much to be envious of, but I appreciate your kind words.
No, that's cool, man. I dig it.
Yeah, I'm the Gnostic Nomad. I run what I would call more of a lifestyle channel. I wouldn't really call myself a prepper or a gun tuber or anything. I just kind of document my crazy life that I live, and I have a very young and hot wife that finances all of my craziness. And it's kind of, you know, it's like I feel like I'm living the dream, so I might as well document it and let other people be jealous of me. You know what I'm saying? So,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, you said you wanted to play.
You know, I have lots
guy.
of chickens.
Yeah.
Lots of chickens.
That's good. I just got my first eggs. I'm at 6 eggs now this week.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's such a great, like, fulfilling, like, feeling to bring a chick up to full, you know, age and have her start producing for you and your family. And then that bird almost becomes like a member of your family now. You know what I mean? Because these birds are working really hard, and it's not easy for them to make those eggs. You can hear it too, you know, when they're all cheering each other on. I have 40 chickens out there, so they all make quite the noise when they're going. But, you know, it's a very rewarding thing. And I can't stress enough how great chickens would be for long-term survival, because I can literally just dig in the dirt, find insects and bugs and feed it to them, and they can give me protein and sustenance. And that is like a cycle of life. And then, you know, their droppings, their waste product I can use to fertilize my garden and, you know, keep those kinds of things on our shelves as well too. You know, that way we're not just sitting around eating eggs all day. You know, that would get real boring after a while.
Well, yeah. So I mean, after they slow down, you make some chicken soup. But you know, I told them before I left, it's like, if you chickens don't start giving me some fucking eggs, I'm about to throw you in the freezer. So,
if you don't start giving me some food, I'm gonna turn one of you guys into
yeah,
food.
I like a chicken dinner as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
So that's good.
But yeah, this craziness going on in the world today with everything is kind of interesting, to say the least. I think all of you guys' perspectives and your takes are spot on, 100%. I've been listening in chat this whole time. I think you guys all come from unique perspectives, and all of your outlooks are valid as far as potential outcomes for what's to come. You know what I mean? And I think when you keep bringing up the manufactured, right? It's definitely being manufactured, right? And so if it's being manufactured, what are the motives? Why? Right? That's an important question. Why? Why are they pitting us against each other? For what reason? So my thing is, they need justification to have National Guard be posted up in like every major city in the country. And what better way to serve that up on a platter than just cutting off the benefits to like all of the, whether they're the people that are the most undeserving of it, down to the people that literally are, you know, on hospice care, that are using these benefits just to live out the remaining of their days, right? Why would they go after those people? It's because they're the most vulnerable, and they're the ones that are going to have nowhere to go but up, right? Yep. You know what and I was talking about this with my buddy at the shooting range today, and these people, they're already at rock bottom. They have nowhere else to go. You know what I mean? So if they get forced into a situation where they cannot provide for their family, these people will definitely go out and rob stores. And they're already, like, look at LA. There's already people just walking into convenience stores and just helping themselves. You know what I mean? They do like flash mob convenience store robberies in California, you know, already. And we're not even to that point yet, where society is like pushed to the brink. So
yeah, I agree. And best way to approach this, I think, I see a comment here. There's not enough National Guard to hold more than 8 major cities permanently. If you don't think that after this is going on for a couple weeks that normies like you and anybody else, us, and say you get laid off, that you don't volunteer, or like, I don't know if you guys have seen ICE with up to a $50,000
people
and up to a fucking $50,000 hire-on bonus. If you don't think that's going to happen, and you get more people that willingly side up to be that person, you're wrong. If you don't think law enforcement's going to be involved, if you don't think they're going to buy security contractors, if you don't think they're going to buy contractors, period, you're wrong. They will do that. They do it all the time. They do it every day today. Just not for this situation.
Exactly. And they're going to have plenty of motivated people, right? Say your city, say you live in X city, right? And widespread panic happens and X city burns down along with your house. You're a 27-year-old that is in like $150,000 of student loan debt. You love guns and you're a patriot. What do you got left to do other than join the service and get involved and take down the people that you think are responsible for your city, your home, and your life being uprooted?
Yep. And the you think part's a big thing of it. I think it's because of whether you watch CNN, Fox, it's all propaganda. I don't watch the news
Mhm.
anymore. Whether you watch this YouTube channel or you watch a lefty YouTube channel, it's all propaganda because the sources that we're all taking in are geared one way or the other. So it makes you turn that person that you think is your you know, the fuck me, I just lost it. The person that you think is bad and causing that issue, because that's what they're going to start telling you. Right? They're going to say it's the people, and you're right about the people at the rock bottom. They are going to have the emotional reaction because they are not thinking like we are just in this panel, right? Like I already went fucking years down this thing and lawfully tried to reel me back and hit my e-brake because I'm being crazy.
It's real easy to spiral fast though, you know what I mean? Especially when you already kind of like see the big picture in your head already, right? So you're like already past like the initial surge and stuff. So you're already like trying to think of like contingencies for what ifs down the road because you're already like got the immediate threats figured out in your brain. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to prep for the next couple steps that I don't know what to snag.
Exactly.
That's the problem is we can sit here and have a logical and come up with a plan. The people that have no other option, they're going to do the emotional thing. And that's exactly what they want. That's the reaction they're going to want. It's going to push them to the next step.
Yep.
I think you have to plan for what comes after, because the initial kickoff, you can't really prepare for that. I mean, to a certain degree you can, but you can't control when it happens and you can't control where it's happening. So like in order to be prepared for the initial like riot or whatever is the spark for causing mass unrest or the freaking government to fail or whatever, like it's almost impossible to prepare for that. It's almost a matter of luck. Either you're not going to be there or you're just going to happen to be prepared at that moment.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, luck is, I mean, say you're visiting your family for the afternoon in like that populated city you worked so hard to not go near, and then all of a sudden Antifa riots break out and all of a sudden all the major highways are blocked and now you're stuck downtown in the exact situation that you just spent like however long trying to remove yourself from ever having to deal with again. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's always when you are just like, oh, I'm going to go on a day trip somewhere. And then that thing breaks finally. Your shoe finally like sole just lets go and you're on that hike halfway and falls off. And now you're like, oh, great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's sports ball season for kids. You know, you went out, you made playoffs, and now you had to go to a bigger city to do the playoffs, and you're not in your normal zone. Hey, it's holiday season. You're traveling to family, you know, you don't see every day. You're out of your zone. Our bubbles are going to be not our normal bubble for the rest of the year. It's Halloween. It's Thanksgiving. It's Christmas. You mix this in with that.
Backpacking. You come back. You're out of service.
Yeah.
You go to call your wife, no answer. What the hell? You go home. You get into town. All of a sudden, everything's crazy. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? You know, so it's like even something like that, like where you leave service range and then you come back to find out, like, oh my God, there's been like a disaster that has taken place. You know what I mean? Actually, a crazy just sidetrack. I'll stay real short with this one. One of my best friends growing up was on a NOLS trip, National Outdoor Leadership School. When he found out his dad died on 9/11, he was on flight 11. He was in the middle of the Andes Mountains. He had to be sat phoned to like be contacted. And then like he had to leave the entire trip to like go home and be with his family because they found out his old man. So it's like that kind of stuff can happen. You know what I mean? Like you're just out there enjoying the Andes Mountain one minute, and the next minute you find out your dad died in a terrorist attack. You know what I mean? So it's like, you never know what life is going to throw at you sometimes. So, you know, you always got to be ready up here your mind is the most important survival tool that you have on your kit. You know, everybody needs to remember that too.
It's mindset, skill set, and then tool set.
Exactly.
You have to have your mind in the right place. You have to have the skills to utilize what you have around you before you even worry about what tools you have. It's one of the reasons I like the scenario chats that we've done in the past. It kind of makes you think on your feet, like what's going to happen.
I do like the scenario chats. They're a lot of fun.
Because that's that kind of neuroplasticity. That's what's going to keep you safe when whatever happens.
Mm-hmm.
If you go black, as soon as the thing happens and you freeze and you just don't know what to do, while everyone's running away from the falling building, you're just staring at it. You have to be able to think on your feet and then make a decision quickly.
You know, the amount of scenario videos I've watched and scenario chats I've been in, if you take that mindset and you go ask a normie those questions, they'll say, I don't know, I'll just call the cops. Or they'll say, I don't know, I'll just go home. And I'll be like, well, what happens if this happens? And they're like, well, like that's going to happen. Like, shit like that happens all the time. Now, the fact that the brain's a muscle and we're flexing it in this situation room that we do this, from time to time, that allows you to think a little bit further so you can have that reaction quicker and you can say, hey, we've had something similar to this. The fact that you sat down and thought about it for 30 seconds past go gives you that advantage, yeah?
Your body will never go where your mind hasn't already gone.
There you go.
They tell you that in like defensive driving. While you're driving down the road on the highway, you're supposed to be running scenarios in your head. Well, what if that guy cuts me off and slams on the brakes? What am I going to do? Well, if I swerve to the right, I'm going to go off the road and end up in a freaking ravine. So I can't swerve right. Can I change lanes quickly? Check my rearview mirror. Okay, there's no cars there. If that guy were to swerve and hit his brakes, I would change lanes in this situation.
Yep.
Love it. Lawfully, it's a great quote from the late great Jaeger.
Is that where I got that quote from?
Yeah.
Was that Jaeger?
That's pretty much survival methodology right there, right? Like I went to college for adventure recreation. That was the degree I was going to get. There was a class called Fundamentals of Outdoor Living, and that was like the course's motto was that right there, what Lawfully Armed typed in chat. Mindset, skills, tactics, gear, because that is the breakdown of how you survive. That is the importance of survival, right? First, you have to have the right mindset. Without the right mindset, you're already dead, right? If you don't have the skills, how can you form tactics to survive? How can you come up with tactics to extract yourself from this situation, right? Without the skills.
Yeah,
you gotta know.
I did cheat because he said Rip Jaeger, so that's how I knew.
Oh, well, actually, I didn't even know who the quote was from, right? It's just a methodology that is taught in survival. You know what I mean? And then gear comes last, right? And I think that's why I took prepper out of my bio, is because like preppers emphasize gear first almost. And for me, gear has always been last, right? Because that's the least important thing. You know, as long as I got my mind, as long as I got my wits, that's it. You know what I'm saying? We'll figure out the rest as we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I know you guys, if you've been with the chat for any length of time, that you've heard me say I've had people that have never thought this way before have come up to me and ask stuff. Mostly because they know I carry a firearm. So they're like, okay, so they want to worry about this. And then they know that I've worked security in the past. They're like, so what should I do for my house if this? Dun, 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 dun. And now people are asking, okay, what do you do for food? Or what do I need to do? I got people that are just starting to prep. They're like, okay, so should I buy this this thing, these lights, and then should I buy all this? And I rolled in one day and I was like, hey man, how you doing on this prepping thing? I know you had a lot of questions. And they're like, oh, I bought 10 boxes of matches. And I'm like, did you buy any Bic lighters? They're like, no. I'm like, well, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, you're gonna need 10 boxes of matches if you don't have any.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, the easiest way to start a fire is just with a fucking lighter, right? And they're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'm like, maybe you could have bought like a grill starter in there or something else. Like, I'm like, did you buy any candles with it? They're like, what? I'm like, what the fuck are you gonna light with all these matches? They didn't even buy any fucking candles. I'm like, okay.
I'm like people that carry a ferro rod with them instead of like a lighter. It's like, I mean, dude, it's like,
they're like, oh, I need a ferro rod. That's what they were saying.
If you're training it, sure, but at least have the Bic lighter on you, so we're not just sitting out in the woods freezing our ass off trying to start a fire with a friggin' primitive method that like we're trying. You know, it's like at least bring the damn lighter with you.
That's exactly what they said. They're like, hey, which ferro rod do you have? I'm like, I carry a Bic lighter in my pocket every day. What the fuck do I need a ferro rod for? They're like, oh, that's pretty easy. I'm like, yeah,
I'll go back to rubbing sticks when we run out of Bic lighters, dude. It's like, you know, like, I get it though. If you want to train, right? Like, I am not dogging on anybody that trains primitive skills at all, right? And to be honest, I feel as though it's like an art form that needs to be kept alive. You know what I mean? Primitive survival. Because there's always going to be a point in survival. Even if like, say you, get lost hiking in the woods on a day hike and all you have is like your fanny pack and a water bottle, you know what I mean? Because you just weren't expecting a survival situation, but you hiked 2 miles off trail and you didn't even realize it. You know what I mean? That happens way more often than you think. You know what I mean? So, you're not always going to just have your kit in your bug out bag on you at all times. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be versatile. You gotta like be able to adapt to situations and not just always depend on your gear. You know, you almost need to like train yourself not to like go into the situations without gear to see how you would adapt and overcome and get around them. You know what I mean? And that's like, when we did survival training, that was what they would force us, right? We would have to do 3-day solos with next to nothing. You know, we'd get, it was 6 strike anywhere matches in a blade and a metal cup. And we'd have to do a 3-day winter solo, you know what I mean? And survive off the land for 3 days. That's not easy in the winter, at least not in the Northeast, and it's cold, it's freezing, man, you know. So you learn how to get a fire started, maintain that fire, keep that fire going all night long, right? Because you have to constantly wake up and stoke that fire. You wake up and that fire's out. You know what I mean? You're in a bad place, you know. So
no, these same people. Speaking of heat, and I don't, you guys have seen any of my past videos, but I scored that propane heater for next to nothing, and I've been stocking the 1-pounders. Quite frankly, those are what I give away more than anything. I'm not going to give away a 25-pounder with a hose and a regulator. If they didn't buy that shit, that's their problem. I'll throw them 6 or 10 bottles with a buddy heater. Like, that's not going to kill me.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, yeah, we bought a whole bunch of hand and foot warmers. I'm like, how about a wool blanket? And they're like, why would I use that? And I'm like, you're talking about heat. It's one of the best things, and it's cheap. I'm like, do you have any of those rechargeable hand warmers? Those are dirt cheap. You can charge them with a solar panel because they got a solar panel. I'm like, what do you guys charge them with your solar panel? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, get some fucking rechargeable AA's. You got a flashlight, right? Well, there you go. Now you got light because you can charge it all the time. And then I'm like, okay, now charge your weapons light. No, I don't have a weapons light. I'm like, what are you buying all this fucking ammo for? You don't have a weapons light at night. And they're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, yeah, like, they're like, well, what do you carry? I pull out my gun. I'm like, I got a dot and a light on my gun every day on my hip, my entire life.
Yeah.
Why? Because most of the bad shit happens at night.
Yep.
I need to be able to see what the fuck I'm shooting at night. And they're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, there you go. So,
and guess what? The person that is looking at you can't see when you're shining a light right at them.
Can't see shit.
Can't see nothing.
Yeah. And
So,
if they can, you turn it off and you can move.
Yep.
But they're like some people that, and that's why I really started my Golden 5 with the firearms, and that's why I really started like not going down the buying all the knives and buying all the gear and buying the next gear thing to test out. And I rotated back to food because we all need to eat to make a turd.
Yep.
It's that simple. Like, you have enough shit. You have enough gear that you probably don't even fucking touch every year. I know. I go through gear all the time. I'm like, oh, fuck, I haven't touched that in like 3 years. I probably don't need that anymore, and I sell it. Like, I if I haven't fucking touched something in 3 years, I probably don't need it. Just saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's true. Unless it's a tool.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Unless
if it's a
it's a
rake or
tool.
something, that's a backup.
Yeah.
I'm keeping that, you know?
I mean, I can't even tell you, like, just when my old man passed, how many, you know, he was the tinkerer. You know what I mean? Like, we were both carpenters, but he was the guy that liked learning other trades, and he was constantly always tinkering and buying tools that he had no business owning and stuff. And so when he passed on, and, you know, I acquired all of that stuff that I don't really know how to use, but when the time comes, I'm sure I'll figure it out. If we ever need it, you know what I mean? So a lot of really highly specialized stuff, like a lot of like cabinetry tools and a lot of like plumbing stuff that I don't really even know what they are. I mean, I know some plumbing, but I know enough, right? If I needed to like rerun some water to a faucet or you know, disconnect a drain to hook it up and connect it to somewhere else, you know, I can make all that stuff happen. But as far as being like a gas fitter or like, you know, working on propane fittings, I can't do any of that shit. No way.
Hit me up, dog.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, actually, I don't know. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but I might have just you know, found out about 70 acres of residential property that are adjoining the place that I go shoot at. And so I'm going to be having some words with the owner about maybe, you know, seeing what we could do about maybe cutting it up in some lots and talking to some people that are looking to relocate and get a community going, you know, and then have me and him kind of take the plunge first, get the groundwork done, because it's a sand and gravel pit. So he's got excavators, he's got all the tools and the machinery that we need to do all the heavy lifting, all the groundwork, all the hardscaping, getting the areas flattened out for, you know, houses, and getting like spaces ready for foundation, septics, wells, the whole nine, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm looking into that because I'm kind of getting sick and tired of like existing on this like subset of society where like I don't really have to answer to society or their rules or anything like that. I don't need the government. I don't need grocery stores. I don't need society, right? As is right now. And
you need an internet connection.
I'll tell you, life wouldn't be more boring without it. I would just end my evenings a lot earlier, I think, and I would probably start my days a lot earlier too.
Get a lot more sleep.
Yeah, probably. No, well, I'd probably do a lot of more reading, to be honest. Even though I suck at it, I'm a terrible reader. I have to read out loud to myself, but to actually do it. But you know, I would probably read more, maybe, because I wouldn't be able to watch all my conspiracy videos on YouTube. You know what I mean? And X, yeah, man. I don't know what I'd do without all the shit talking I do on X all the time. The memes, man, they keep you going sometimes. You know what I mean? So,
I understand.
Yeah.
All right, Lawfully, what do you got to say? I know you're holding it back.
No.
That was not what I wanted to hear. That really helps the conversation along.
I had an idea for a video I wanted to make. I was gonna go up in the woods and be like, "All right, folks, today we're gonna learn how to make a primitive fire with a bow drill, and this is how a real man does it." And then show the camera, get it all ready and almost ready to start making the fire, and then pull a Bic lighter out of my pocket and be like, "This is how real people start fires."
I like that.
That's a good bit, actually. I'm not gonna lie, that's a good bit. Now the question is, could you start it with the bow drill though, if you wanted to?
It's surprisingly hard. Like the thing that I had to learn really fast is you can't touch the wood. As soon as you touch it and the oil from your hand gets on the wood, you're cooked.
Man, you stole my pun right away from me. I was gonna say you can't use Jordans.
No, I've never done it with a bow drill. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I've never successfully. I've gotten smoke, I've gotten embers, but I've never successfully gotten the ember to like a tinder pile and got it up in flames. I've always been a smoker my whole life, man. You know, I always had a lighter on me. You know, I always had a pack of butts and a lighter on me at all times. So it was like, didn't matter if I was 20 miles out in the backcountry, 2,000 feet up on a vertical cliff, whatever. You know what I mean? I had a pack of smokes on me at all times, and I always justified it by, "Oh, I'm doing high altitude training for my lungs." It was stupid. Luckily, I quit though. I quit. That's the important part, because I couldn't imagine being a smoker going into the apocalypse, or like without rule of law or anything like that.
Yeah, you're gonna be grumpy.
Well, you're gonna have your cigarette addiction pulling on you, hunger pulling on you, sleep deprivation pulling on you. Then you're gonna have anxiety, depression, guilt probably stacked up. Then you're going to be constantly worried about all your loved ones all the time. So your anxiety is going to be fucking through the roof. So you're going to be literally juiced on adrenaline probably 24/7. You know what I mean? Which is not going to be good for your body chemistry when you finally do crash and come back down, because then you're going to be fucking useless. You know what I mean? Because your body's going to be so exhausted from all the chemicals it's had going through it for like the last however many hours. And then, you know what I mean? When you do finally settle down, you're going to be absolutely useless. So
yeah,
it's a lot to think about. And I feel bad for people with kids too, man. You know, I know you got kids, Tactical Muffin Top. I don't know about the other guys on the panel.
One guy's super old, so I'll let you pick which one that is.
What's that?
I said one guy's super old, and I'll let you pick that one out.
I'm 45. I am not super old. Just because I have grandkids does not make me super old.
He outed himself. I didn't have to guess. I was actually going to guess lawfully armed, because you always pin him as the cranky one in the group. You know what I mean?
No, he's not cranky. He just likes to bring me back to reality a little bit. I like to think a little bit out in Neverland. A scooch.
Or like not cranky, but like the like what is it? It's like the critical one, you know, like the one that like has the conscientious objector to your thinking processes, and or I don't know. I'm running out of words right now.
No, sometimes when I'm going and I'm really like going in my own brain, Lawfully says something and I'm just like, God damn it, Lawfully. Like I just gotta pull myself back.
Yeah, like he's like the antithesis to your thought process.
Yeah, he grounds me. He's good people like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best people to have around, man. I don't want my mag to be full of like 5 other me's.
Yeah, that'd be scary for me. I agree with you. Maybe like one, so that way when I'm asleep, I know we're okay.
But I'm saying, you know, like we don't need 5 carpenters. You know,
in World
like
Wars, In World War Z, they called it the 12th man, or the 11th man, or something like that. When 10 people agree that something's not going to happen, then it's the 11th man's job to prepare for it.
It's the Jews and the Samson option. Literally, that's where that phrase comes from in the movie.
The Samson option. That's truly scary. That's something I hate thinking about that. Right? Them having all that power at the push of a button to just.
That's one of those things that are one of those things that is beyond your control. So
I know, and it's like that's why I don't like to think about it.
Yeah, anytime worrying about that is just wasted.
Yeah. Exactly. Because if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and there ain't nothing anyone on this panel can do to stop it. So
I'm worried about my 10-mile radius around me.
Yeah.
At any given time.
Yep, that's the most realistic thing that you can handle and make an impact on. Good, bad.
But I have a unique problem where my 10-mile radius moves.
You are like on the move constantly?
Yeah, I drive truck for a living, so we go out to Arizona every week. So, like, the chances of me being away from home if something ever does really happen are very high.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and I feel like that is like what we were talking about earlier, where you could be on the road or, like I was saying, on a hike, and then, literally this shit hits the fan, and now your whole mission statement is like extracting back to home and to get to the people that you love and care about. You know what I mean? And so it's like you almost have to constantly be prepared for that situation at all times because of your, being mobile. You know what I mean? Like, you can't afford to not have your bug out bag. You can't afford to not have your carry with you. You can't afford to not have certain items with you, because when this does happen, you have a lot of work ahead of you where, you know what I'm saying? Like, at worst, I might have to help my wife get back from a couple miles because she can't get past on the road or something like that on her way home from work, so it's a way different situation for me. You know what I mean? Like, all my kit is here at all times. So it's, when I leave the property, that's like, if I'm going to the store, I don't gear up like I'm Rambo. You know what I mean? I'm not, or like that scene in Commando where I'm like, get your knife here, tourniquet here, switchman here. TMT would be so proud of me for taking medical with me. Yes, let's go.
I would be so proud of you. I actually have a fun story with that. Let me throw it in here real quick. I gave away my last Flishman because I can't find the fucking IFAK that I had on my battle belt. I gave it away on the plane. I gave away on the plane on my fucking way home to a guy that I was sitting next to.
I love how you just bring medical on you just to quickly give someone a stop the bleed course and a little tourniquet for the road.
I showed him how to do it in the aisle, and the gal came up, the flight attendant. She's like, "Sir, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm showing this guy how to run this tourniquet." And she's like, "Oh, that's cool." She's like, "I don't think we have a rule against that on the plane, but maybe just stay out of the aisle with it." I'm like, "All right, whatever."
It's like, would you like to be the victim for us?
I'm like, would you like to try it? It's really easy. I can show you how to use it. You should carry a mere flight attendant.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Imagine one of those carts gets away and someone got their arm out in the hallway and that thing just snaps the arm in two. You know what I mean?
This guy, he was from Florida. He was coming back to watch the Nebraska game with his son, and he works with at-risk youth. I'm like, "Bro, you're the perfect guy who needs this." I'm like, "Go check out my boy, freaking Jay at Prepared Citizens." I was like, "Use code TMT. You'll get some cash off." I'm like, "Dude, these are $10. Anybody working with kids, school." I told him, I was like, "I try to get these in schools. I try to get them in churches. At-risk teen." I was like, "This is what you do. When you land and we get out of airplane mode, watch a YouTube video on how to use this thing a couple different ways. You can use it for splint. You can use it for spraying, whatever. You can use it as a fucking sling for your arm. I'm like, and then go teach somebody else how to use it. I was like, you can either buy one and give them this one, or you can keep this one and buy another one and teach them how to use it and then tell them to go buy it. Right?
Yeah.
So I just planted that little medical seed on my way home, being a good Samaritan.
That's awesome, man. Because I think medical is like probably one of the things that people prepare the least for, and it's probably the most common use case prep you're gonna run into.
I know. My wife was pissed. She's like, "Did you really just give that to that guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, he works with kids."
It's funny. It's funny because I feel like our wives have a similar struggle in life. It's just like with me, I'm like always trying to drop knowledge bombs on people instead of Schlichtmans and tourniquets. I'm like, have you considered that the history is not what they've been telling us? Let me tell you about Tartaria.
How many times have you thought about Rome this week?
Yeah. Instead of the black Schlichtman and use it as a snare, you can even get a squirrel with it.
Oh, there you go.
Mm.
You should get a video on that, Lawfully. That'd be dope.
I mean, the number one rule of survival is being able to multiply, like use something for multiple uses, right? Like take one thing and like my hat, right? Like can you come up with different uses for this hat for survival purposes? You know what I mean? Like then other than keeping your head warm, you know what I mean? And that's the type of way people need to start thinking soon here. You know what I mean? Because once those shelves start running dry, people are going to have to start getting creative with ways to feed their family, for ways to keep their family warm, for ways to purify and clean water. There's all these, you're going to have like multiple use case scenarios for items are going to be extremely, extremely important.
Right. I think if you think Demoman Don, you want a link? Grit, you also have a link if you want to hop in now. The Great Depression era where you reuse things and you never throw anything away and you always find a use for something, even if it's not the standard use like our grandparents did and everything.
Yep.
There's so many things that my great grandma would save. Like she washed her tinfoil, everything. My grandma still does that stuff. Like they wash and reuse freezer bags, like Ziploc freezer bags. And I don't blame them. That shit's expensive and they still work. Like, whatever, if that's
use that shit until it falls apart. And then when it falls apart, you can cut up the plastic to use for something else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's like a piece of lumber, right? It starts off at Home Depot as a 2x4x8. And then by the time it gets done living at my house, I've used it like 12 times for 13 different projects. You know what I'm saying? And now all that's left is like this little piece of scrap wood that's like an inch and a half long, and that's all that's left of it now.
And you can't push it because you'll find the right you'll find just what you need for it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And oh, here, look.
Oh, there you go.
See? There's nothing goes to waste around here. I every single piece in that pile will find its home somewhere on this homestead. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. And it drives my wife absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, after she gets tired of my pile for a while, I just throw it in the burn pit. And she's like, "Oh, Hey, where'd you get all the wood for the fire?" I'm like, "You told me to get rid of it. So we're doing marshmallows. Get over here."
Hey, I mean, but think about it, right? So here, that wood, you burn it, you get heat, you cook your marshmallows on it, it turns to ash, you take that ash and you add that to your compost.
Yeah, or I throw it in my garden, or I throw it in my the dirt that my chickens roll around in to keep the mites away. Yep.
Exactly. There you go. And then that becomes, and then they use it for other things. Your garden uses it for one thing, your chickens use it for a whole nother thing.
Yep.
Right. And thus the cycle of life continues. So even nature has multiple use cases for things. You know what I mean?
I beat you to it. Look at this. She was just telling me to do the dust bath for the chickens.
Yep. I mean, that's because I don't have a diatomaceous earth mine. You know what I mean? And I don't have a limestone mine either, right? And those are two things that I use currently to cut back on insects like mites and things like that in my chickens, is because I use the diatomaceous earth to kill the mites, and then I use the lime to break down the waste. And I use a year-round deep bedding method, so I don't have to do as much waste cleaning in my run, which makes it a lot better, in my opinion. But, you know, it's good to know ash can be used. See, I didn't even know I could use ash for that. So I learned something tonight now, too. So that's great.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have a wood stove, you should be using ash for all kinds of stuff. It in the garden, it helps repel a lot of bad insects, and it also acts as a fertilizer. So ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yeah, I knew the fertilizer, but not the. I didn't know it could be used as a substitute to help with the mites for the chickens. That's actually like that's super awesome. I'm actually really happy I learned that, because I was actually worried about that. I'm like stocking up on diatomaceous earth. Like I have like 80 pounds of diatomaceous earth because I was like so paranoid about what I'm gonna do.
Keep stacking. Shit.
When Tractor Supply shuts down, I'm like, how am I gonna protect against mites? And I didn't even think fucking dust or the ash. It's like diatomaceous does have such a wide range of uses too. Great, yeah. So
you can leach the tannins out of wood ash and mix that with animal fats and make soap.
There, he knew how to do it.
Oh no! All right, so is that how you make like lye, basically?
Yeah.
For the soap. Okay. All right.
And also, you mix it with water.
Yeah.
Go for it.
You get the tannins off acorns.
Oh, okay. That's what makes them super bitter, right?
That's what makes them inedible.
Inedible. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, because you got to cook acorns down like 4 or 5 times, right? Yes, like you boil them. You got to boil them down like 4 or 5 times before you can mash them up.
You just soak them and wash them, soak them and drain them, until the water runs clear. Then all the tannins. Then you can boil them.
Okay, so it's soak and then boil. All right.
You know what? On another note, since Lawfully's talking again, guess what I'm getting ready to plant, Lawfully? I'm getting ready to plant my winter garden. No, I'm not. I'm getting ready to plant my winter garden, and I'm going to plant some turnips.
Ooh.
Lawfully is all about the turnip game. So
Don't do the deer turnips.
Well, you tell me the turnips I need to be doing that are delicious, and I will attempt them.
I don't know, the ones that they sell at the grocery store.
Right? You know, I still have yet to roll into a grocery store and check out a turnip and think, man, I need to shove that in my mouth.
I wouldn't recommend shoving it in there. You'll asphyxiate. But, peel it and cut it into slices or wedges or, whatever shape you like. It'll go down your gullet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm doing the
I know you got a big mouth, but I don't think you can one bite a turnip.
Maybe not, but we will attempt. Purple top turnips, Grit says. All right. Grit's pretty smart.
Yep.
You can also use wood ash to mix it with water in the right amount to get an acidic solution. And you put corn in there to separate the what's it called? The hard part of the corn that you can't digest. Anyway, you separate that part out and you can make corn flour.
Or hominy.
A couple corn farms around here. I actually just was talking to a hunter tonight about maybe doing some trading for moose and deer meat for eggs. So I'm getting that set up. So maybe I should probably get a hold of some corn farmers and stuff too. There's a lot of people in my area. I still need to. I want to just at least introduce myself before people are shooting at each other for groceries. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's perfect is the barter system. If you're really good at growing tomatoes and the next guy's really good at growing potatoes, swap. Don't bother trying to fucking attempt to grow it if they already know what they're doing.
And not everybody's property is the same. You could have a south-facing property that's right on the water table where another guy could be in the shade full time and barely get sun at all. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, play your strengths too. You know, if you can't get a farm going, try to find something that can make you useful in this
maybe you
world.
can do small bales for their livestock and swap for some meat.
Or mushrooms, right? Because you're in the shade. So it's like if you get partial sun, mushrooms are great, right? Because you don't want them in the sun all the time. You know what I mean? So it's like if you get a lot of sun shade, that's great for mushrooms because I moved. So I was having problems getting harvest from my logs. They weren't, there's a term for it. It's fruiting, but it's flushing. They weren't flushing. And so I moved them to a different location from the woods out to over by my garden beds. And now I'm like I had a whole entire school lunch tray of oyster mushrooms the other day. It was crazy. And one good thing about mushrooms is they go year round. They'll keep flushing out fresh food for you in the middle of the winter, in early spring and late fall. So I think mushrooms is another alternative crop that people should start looking into, and you don't need a lot of space for it either. And the only problem is you can't really predict when it happens, you know. But yeah, and that's why Anarchy, that's why I go with oyster mushrooms and shiitake, because they don't have lookalikes that are poisonous, and they're very easy to identify. And I inoculate all my own logs, so you're overwhelming the log with the spore of the mushroom that you're trying to grow. So it can be dangerous, but with oyster mushrooms, there is no poisonous lookalike at all. So that's probably the safest mushroom for anybody that is getting into mushroom farming on like the beginner level. I would say oysters are the best to start with for sure.
You should do some videos on that, because that's something you could maybe downsize to apartment prepping or whatever. I had a little mushroom grow box that worked pretty good, but it didn't yield a lot.
Yeah, those kits. I think I know what you're talking about. You get like a bag, right, and then you like spray the inside of the bag. And then
like a little cardboard deal.
Yeah, and they grow outside of those little holes, like the little cardboard holes or whatever that's in the plastic. Those are cool. So there is a spore company that's in the next state over that we got the spores from. But the ones that we did, you core out holes in hardwood logs, and then you fill it with the spore that they provide, and then you cover it with like a wax. And you do that it's a lot. It was way more work than I knew or thought it was going to be when I was like, yeah, let's be a mushroom farm. Man, I've had all kinds of like, let's be this farm, But yeah, no, mushrooms is a lot of work. But now that it's all set up and everything, and all I got to do after it rains and I get a sun, I go out, I look, and then all of a sudden I got like a nice bounty waiting for me, and it's amazing. And it's the year-round thing that I think is what makes it such a valuable crop. You know what I mean? Is they flush year-round, so to get fresh crops in the middle of the winter is pretty killer, not gonna lie.
I love it. Lawfully's over here trying to cash in my mushrooms for good shit.
Right? I mean, organic oysters sell $20 a pound at farm stands. So,
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, morale hunting's pretty big around here. I've never done it, but I know.
Morale picking in the woods is real good too. That's an easy one to identify, and there's not many lookalikes for. Morels are the same way, not many lookalikes.
They do the same thing. I just couldn't come up with morel a minute ago.
No. Well, the chicken of the woods is it's like an orange and yellowish, like a meaty mushroom. Where morel, I thought, was more of like a spongy cap.
Yeah.
Like it's like got hollowed holes in it almost. Yeah. Mushrooms are great. I will next time I core logs, I will make a video for it. I wasn't YouTubing when we did that. I do, like in my homestead updates, I do show the logs though. So if you want to check those out, you can always jump over to my channel and look at one of the homestead updates. And I typically show the logs during the homestead update ones that I do. So
yeah, I'll be down.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, mushrooms are great. Mushrooms are a great food source you can get year round. Eggs, that's another great food source.
I think you're digging for the wrong mushroom there, buddy.
Which one's that?
Oh, it's this fleshy one.
Be nice.
That was as PG as I could keep it. Shit. Well, we've been going for a minute. What are we thinking here, boys? We're gonna take the conversation down another direction. What do we want to do? We're gonna call it.
I got 4 more minutes to hit 2 hours.
Well, you better. Do we really? Wow. Okay. Well, we got to go for 2 hours then.
If you haven't put your hands on one, go to your local gun shop and finger bang a Walther PDP.
No, because you're trying to make me buy another gun.
I'm not telling you. I'm saying it. I'm putting it out in the ether. Like,
so you like the Walther?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to the gun store is like going to the Humane Society. Like, pound. It's free to socialize. It just costs to adopt.
That's true.
Does it come MOS?
They do.
So.
I don't know Walter all that well. Once I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself now with the whole Glock situation.
It's real easy. You don't panic and you just keep carrying a Glock and you'll be fine.
Well, no, I'm just, but if they discontinue the 19 part, like I have a Gen 4 19, you know what I mean? So it's like, ugh.
There's always going to be aftermarket parts. That gun will never die. You will never shoot it enough to not get parts again.
True.
Yeah, man. I got a Gen 4 23 converted to 9, and I have literally shot a recoil spring out of it training for security. Like, that's like, what, 5,000 to 8,000 rounds? Most people don't even put that many rounds through their fucking rifle. Like, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the parts compatibility with these new Vs is going to be very, very... the only things that aren't going to port over is whatever it takes for them to block those Glock switches. Everything else, I don't imagine is going to change.
I do think they said that the triggers are not going to be compatible, which just means all aftermarket trigger manufacturers are going to have a new trigger. Probably won't be too hard for them to figure it out,
Yeah. I don't know. And I'm like one of the few guys that actually enjoys the stock Glock trigger. So it's
right. And it's okay that they said they're going to be discontinued. There's still how many 44 million or billion fucking Glocks out there? Like your Gen 3, if you really are that worried, go buy all the OEM parts kit. They're cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it was was it DeBoss? Yeah, he was telling me, he's like, if you were going to get the Glock 48, well, the Glock 48 isn't going to change, but he was like, if you're going to get the Glock 48, he's like, check out the PSA micro dagger and C1. It comes comped with a friggin', it has problems?
Yeah, I didn't. That's why I didn't pick one up.
Really? Yeah, no good?
They've had a lot of failures. I don't think they got it quite figured out yet.
I think if it comes to I've got some extra money and I just want to buy something cool, you buy whatever you want. But when it comes to I'm gonna make my life depend on this, I would only go with like one of the big manufacturers.
Well, that was going to be like my range beater. I was going to get that just to beat up on the range, and then keep the
that's a
Glock
perfectly
as like my EDC. You know what I mean?
I mean,
that's
I
a
EDC to
perfectly
dagger.
legitimate purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I EDC to dagger for over a year and zero issues with it, zero complaints. Other than the only issue I had was ammo related because my reloads weren't seated properly in some of them, so I really had to rack them the fuck out. But other than that,
You know, in like 3, 4, 5 years, we might revisit the issue to once all the bugs are worked out and everything like that. But, you know, as of right now, I would trust my life to basically a Glock or a Walther PDP if that's what floats your boat.
Mm-hmm.
What
Or
about the
MMP
MMP?
or
the MMP.
anything that's been duty rated that's not in Brazil. I have had Tauruses. Is it what I want to carry every single day? No, but for having a backup gun to throw in a buddy kit or something, or like a truck gun, perfect role for it. I'll trust my life to a 38 special all day long. Wheel guns run. I'll trust my life every day to a Colt 1911. They got it figured out. They know what they're doing. I'm not going to go trust my life to some brand new gun off the street with no testing time behind it.
Canic's starting to get there.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Canic's starting to get to the point where they're starting to get up there with the other brands as far as like, you know, willing to depend your life on it. You know what I mean? So I like it. I like Canic's. I like the action's smooth. The triggers are nice on them. My buddy's got one. I feel like it shoots nice and flat. But you know, they're flashy. You know, they look cool. They look like they belong in like a science fiction movie. You know.
Eventually, the Walther PDPs will be in the LE trade-in pool, and if you're standardizing your mag and you're standardizing your holsters and everything,
yeah,
pretty good platform to do so. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get there.
Yeah, it was. It's just such a shame. I'm so sick and tired of criminals dictating what law-abiding gun owners can and can't do. You know what I mean, or what we can and can't own, or what piece of plastic we can or cannot attach to our weapon. You know what I mean? To make it
legislators.
Yeah, it's just, well, it's the legislators and I hate to say it, but it's like these criminals too. You know what I mean? This is not helping our cause. You know, 3D printing like Glock switches and
well, the people that are afraid of a switch are the people that don't really understand firearms. They think bullets are magic heat-seeking missiles, and I'm sorry, I will go up against anybody with a switch who's holding it sideways versus me with a good stance and a good trigger press, because I know I'm putting him down.
I was about to say, anything in the neighborhood of 50 yards, I hope the guy that's shooting at me has a switch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like bumps. It's like the bump stock of handguns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you know, and FRTs are cool and everything, but at the end of the day, I don't have the ammo to you know.
I don't think anybody does. Yeah.
Right. And if I can put you down in 2 shots center mass, opposed to you shitting out a mag, well, I'm just going to shoot you in the fucking chest and be done with it. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't.
I
shit
still
out
think
a
it's
mag.
good to have at least one dude in your group kitted up and have that option.
Yep.
Like you want the one guy. Yeah.
If there's 15 guys coming up your driveway and they look like they've got really, really bad intentions, they need lots of bullets quickly.
Yeah, a drum fed on one. That's the perfect scenario. You know.
That's what we're gonna get TNT. We're gonna get him one of those off-road rascals that has the tracks, and then get him like a rack and pinion, and an FRT.
I think they're cool, but I think Lawfully nailed it.
We're gonna reinvent tanks.
I think that they're a noose that they're going to hang us with in legislation.
What, the FRTs?
Yeah, I think the FRTs, the rare breed, all the forced reset crap. I think all that the Franklin Armory binary. I think
No,
that
Franklin
will eventually-
binaries are settled. Like that, they're definitively legal. Like they have proven in court. They have proven that under federal law, the Franklin triggers produce one shot per function of the trigger.
Well, then I suppose if I was going to get one, I'd do that to be the
But
absolute
like those
safe.
force reset triggers, the wave of force reset triggers for pistols that have come along in the last like 60 days that I've seen on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
As soon as somebody gets killed with one of those,
all the
and
YNs
they're talking
running
about
around.
it, when they're talking about it on 5 o'clock news and Instagram reel plays on 5 o'clock news, there's not any old person in America that's not going to say that's not a machine gun.
Exactly.
Yep. Lawfully nailed it in his chat. I 100% agree. So.
I mean, they are like, come on, let's be real here. Like, I don't. You technically, from like a mechanical aspect, they might not be right, but like, they're not pulling the trigger.
We're playing with the legal definition. Is where we're at.
With the right semi-automatic trigger, you can get really freaking close. Like I would put what is it called? I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head right now, but I got a really nice trigger with a stupid short reset. It's light and it has a short reset. I bet you I can shoot faster with that than I can with my binary trigger, because the binary trigger you have to pull all the way back and you have to release that trigger all the way forward and then pull it all the way back and then all the way forward.
Right.
I think
guys, the ST3G.
Yeah, I mean, if you get like a super light pound test trigger that has like no play to it, you know what I mean? Then you're pretty much shooting a paintball gun at that point. You know what I mean? You could just sit there and click away with your middle finger if you really wanted to, you know. But at the end of the day, I think I'm with Muffin on this. Well placed shots, I think, are always going to be more valuable than volume. You know what I mean? I think volume has its time and a place, but it's like, you know, we got 100 yards of open ground to head past, and we got no other choice but to go that way. And we got people aimed at us in anger. You know what I mean? And then we can discuss, you know, wasting ammo to get around the obstacle that we're in front of. You know what I mean? But just, you know, in every engagement you get in, you know what I mean? If like you just have like, you know, a suspicion that somebody's in somewhere, you're not going to just offload into like a random house just be on a hunch or something. You know what I mean? It would just, you're just causing unnecessary attention to yourself, and you're just making yourself a target at that point. You know what I mean? I think it's a lot of things that people don't think about. And then another thing too is I was talking to my wife today. I was like, I can't even imagine how many guns I'm going to find in the apocalypse that are going to be all gummed up with like the wrong kind of ammo trying to be jammed down the pipe. You know what I mean? Right. Because people just have no idea. You know what I mean? Like in video games, they just got to run over a dead body and then all of a sudden their ammo is back to full again. You know what I mean?
That's not how it works. What?
Exactly. I'm like, you think of how many times I'm going to see 7.62 getting jammed down a 5.56 chamber, you know, because they just didn't know any better. And then they just threw the gun on the ground because they're like, oh, this thing's broken. It doesn't work. You know,
had a guy last week that had 5.45 by 39 fucking stuck in his AR.
Oh,
beat it out. Had to beat the live round out of it.
Oh no! It was still. Oh, geez.
You're a good person, Lawfully. Did you tell me
he didn't quit the first time that it didn't go right? He was trying to hog hunt in the dark, and when it didn't load the first time, he
sent another one in.
So he had half a box of fucked up ammo before it finally got good and stuck, and he quit.
Nice.
And it's funny. I got an 8-year-old that knows to remove feed and before you try and clear jam.
There's something to be said about limiting your ammo. Like have all 9, 308, and 22. Like that's the only thing you have. It's kind of hard to mess that up. But if you've got every caliber under the sun, then you're going to run
He
into
bought
shit
the
like
wrong
that.
ammo. It's not that he simultaneously owns something beneath that cartridge. He bought the wrong ammunition.
Yeah, and that he
bought 5.45 by 3.9 or 5. Yeah, it's 5. Or is it 5.3? What is it?
5.45 by 39.
Yeah, it's 5.45 by 39, right? Yeah.
Make sure you guys go check out the Rule. His channel's awesome. I like Rule. He's a good dude. I need to have you on one of these days, or you have me on, or whatever. We'll figure it out.
He's a scenario guy. If you ever want to do a scenario night, you know what I'm saying, where you want to run a bunch of scenarios, he's the mastermind of scenarios. He will dream up like he'll give you scenarios that have to deal with morality issues. He'll give you scenarios that have to deal with supply issues. He'll give you scenarios that have to deal with all of these simultaneously at the same time.
I like Rule. I used to do scenarios when I first started, but man, I tell you what, after a while, you really do start running out of ideas.
Yeah.
Like we even had Pat, you were running that scenario maker deal and we were running that, and that was doing all right. But I mean, damn, man, like at the end of the day, there's so many scenarios and they've been played out 6 ways from Sunday. They're really hard to keep fresh. So Rule does a good job.
Yeah, he does.
I need to pick that back up and figure out a different prompt because it was a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like 100% failure unless you do it this way, and you're like, God damn it.
It's kind of the 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts do.
Yeah. That's good. Letlace, I understand you think we should have grenades and everything else, but I tell you what, there's some people in this fucking chat that I don't want to have a grenade, just saying.
Yeah. I don't even know if I would want to have a grenade.
Not on this panel, but like there's some people that I talk to on the internet, I don't want having half of that shit. Like there's some people that I've talked to that I don't want to have a fucking long gun. Okay? Just fucking saying. Like you might say that and you think it's all high and mighty, but at the end of the day, there's some fucking crazy people out there, dude.
Yeah. That's the truth.
Yeah, there was a guy that was had a group started that I ended up joining in, and I kind of like mentally wrote him off, just the way he was so nonchalant with firearms. He had a Mosin where a round got stuck, and like his wife was standing in front of the muzzle while he was trying to clear this round. I was please walk over there. And the last time I shot with him, he's like, you ever see in a really dumb like buddy cop movie where the cop is like just slinging his gun around all the time? Or there's some TV show like they were just making fun of it, like he was tapping himself on the temple with his gun, thinking. He's like, well, this guy wasn't that bad, but it was really freaking close. Like he was waving that gun all over the place. I was like,
it's for keeps.
Yeah. There's some people that there's some people that really just don't need a gun, just saying. And there's some crazy fucking people that think they're tough on the internet. There's reality, and there's like some people don't have the line to decipher between the two, And man, I think the internet has sparked some of that craziness in certain people, and they can activate the MK Ultra kind of stuff via this. And at the end of the day, it's some predictive shit that I think, but that's a rabbit hole for another evening. But in other news, I just this is my G23 converted to 9 that you can hear in the mic, and it's what I carried today.
Nice.
And yeah, I probably got pretty close to 10,000 rounds through this gun, so you'll be fine.
That's the one with the short grip on it, right? Where like the mag becomes part of the grip.
No, this is just the standard 23 with the grooves that half the people hate, but they fit my hand perfect, so I love it.
Compact 40.
No, it's the 26 that's the shorty on the handle, right?
That's
okay. Yeah, okay. It's the 26 that's that shorty. That's like, I think I've seen like all the Glock models lined up like on a desk before, and that's like the only one that stands out to me. Like, what are people thinking when they buy that? You know what I mean? Just because I couldn't. It's like, if you can't hold the thing, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I shoot that 26 with a touch pinky better than I do my 19. Like,
really?
Fire accuracy. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
I like the 26.
Hits me in the right spot.
It just goes to show I think it's all about preference, really, right? Because I was holding a 48 in my hand the other day at the gun store, and I was like, man, I want to marry this gun and go home with it right now.
Yeah, the 48 is what, the 43.
Not the size of
it's a 19 frame size, but it's slim.
Yeah,
it's got the single stack in it, like the 43. So
yeah,
and actually, it's the 43, the 43X, and the 48 are the only ones that aren't going to the V model.
Yeah, basically all the single stack models. I don't think they have a switch for them because they're so slim.
Slimline.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looks like, if the PSA, if that PSA is Dagger, is that micro is no good, then I guess I'll stick to my original plan of getting the Glock 48 then.
I think if they did that and would make it in their Saber line, it would probably be a lot better. Dom BDG, come on now, bro. I'm still
here. Okay, go ahead.
I'm just kidding.
It's not about them cucking or caving. It's legally they either have to pivot or be sued into oblivion. So like it's either adapt and overcome or die on the vine.
Yeah, and if you don't think this is going to happen, what up, mid-tier? We still need
I think that we're going to find that it's not as changed as everybody thinks it is.
Yeah.
That'd be best case, I think, right? We get the V models, and it's like the only difference is you just can't throw a switch on the thing.
I think all your holsters.
It's going to fit your holsters. It's going to take your barrels. It's going to take your same mags.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, are you guys worried about extendos and comps? You're going to be able to put all the same shit on there. It's just going to be modified fire components.
Yeah. Your base plate with your cool decal that'll probably get you hung up in court, because you have a Punisher decal or some shit on it. Oh no, that might need change. Or you could just not be a fag and just run a fucking back plate and just like, who gives a shit about a back plate swap out? Like, just saying. I think
I'm too busy saving up for thermals, man.
Let me talk you out of that Glock 48 real quick.
Here we go. All right.
No, what you want is the 43X. That way you can buy the 48 holster and still put the afterburner and the what's it called? So you can still put the Ramjet afterburner combo. You can put that on there.
I'm not gonna lie, I did see that Ramjet on the 43 and it looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
With that comp on there, it's just a tiny bit shorter than the 48, and the grip is already the same size. So
yeah.
And you're shooting flatter and faster, but at the same time, you already have a 19. And shit hits the fan. Guess what I want on my hip? I have on my hip every day. Guess what I'm going to have on my hip?
Probably a Glock 19.
It's going to be a fucking 19. I don't have to have different. No, those are for the bedroom. Yeah, we beat this to death, and in my reduction of firearms and my relieving myself of shit that I've deemed not standardizationable for my mag, and we've discussed it financially for everybody to stack the same yeah, I'm a cuck for the 19. Stack the fucking 19 or stack the 17, stack the mags, and everybody has the same shit. Or if you're an M&P, whatever, if you're a Walther PDP, whatever your mag of 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 people, everybody has the same fucking gun, same light, same holster. Anybody can chuck somebody a mag and run it.
And training, right? Like when you train with the weapons you own typically, right? So if I train with an AR-15 and then I end up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, and I have to join some new community, right? And they hand me a Ruger Mini 14. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be very well trained with that system. You know what I mean? So having all AR-15s rather than having this wide range of exotic ARs, you know what I mean? Like, you're basically essentially doing what the military does. You know what I mean? Like, if your buddy goes down in combat, you can pick up his weapon system, and it's literally the same one that you trained with. You know what I mean? And so that matters a lot, because I was using my buddy's rifle today, and I felt like I was holding a foreign object. You know what I mean? And it's an AR-15. You know.
It's a discussion, and I'm not good for new gun sales because I am locked in my ways. Because the standardization's huge for me, and I had a larger mag, and I don't know if you've been with me on my journey, but basically we're losing bug out location 1 whenever the eldest member dies, and people have already talked about splitting up the gear and what they're taking away when it happens, and and what they want out of it, and they're just going their own way. So if you had 10 families and say you had 4 people per family, you need 40 of the same fucking gun, holster, light. So that's where I'm at. So because that's where I am. It's different. Now you can be cool like Mid-Tier Thoughts or freaking Comfortably Numb said TMT secretly a G3C owner. I had a Taurus G3C and I don't have it anymore. It's a great gun for the money. It's a great truck gun. It's a great gun for somebody who don't have one. I throw them at gun, but
you should feel honored to have Mid-Tier Thoughts commenting on your channel.
I don't know how to tell you this. I've been emailing Mid-Tier Thoughts, and we've been trying to do a chat forever, but my schedule and his schedule are absolutely horrendous to meet up with each other. But yeah, I love Mid-Tier Thoughts. I've been watching him forever. He's running a Browning high power for war crimes with an FAL. Be a man.
You're gonna have plenty of time on your hands after that back surgery, so I'm sure you guys can make something happen.
I'm having back surgery with no estimated recovery time because they don't know how much they're going to do when they get in there. So we will get back together.
Scope, or are you getting like opened up?
It's fusion through the front, and they want to fuse 2, maybe 3 vertebrae, but they won't know until they get in there. And I said, let's just start with 1. So I'm going to assume I'm going to get at least 2 done. We'll see.
What did you do to your back?
I was an HVAC tech. I fucked it up.
Did you fall?
You let a trucker wear him out behind the.
Yep. I was over there for that Buc-ee's hat, but I didn't have a $5 bill, so that dumpster was looking real friendly that night.
No,
no,
so you didn't get like you weren't like bomb squad and get blown up in active service or nothing like that.
Nope. I tried 3 times to get in the military. I got turned down all 3 times. 2 before my injury, 1 after. So I'm stuck as a civvy.
That's crazy. I don't know what you like fusing your spine. That's bad because like the last person I knew that needed to get their vertebrae fused together was an old bomb tech in the GWAT, and he'd been through a couple explosions, and they needed to fuse his vertebrae together from all the shock trauma his body had gone throughout the years. And so yeah, that's no joke. If you have to get that kind of work done, I would wish you the best of recovery, man.
The last back surgeon I was at said he had a 90-year-old guy with a better back than I do, and I'm 33. So
yeah, that's not good.
That's not good.
No.
Yeah, it's whatever. Like, it's just gonna be what it is. I'm gonna get it done before the world, shit hits the fan, and then I'll be good to run and gun.
When are you going? At least that all going down.
It's like 12th to the 13th of November, like 2 days before rifle season for deer.
Wow.
So it knocks my deer season out.
And at least that's actually perfect timing in my opinion, because you'll at least get a couple weeks to see how the situation pans out and cancel if need be. Right? It'd be better than you going under the knife like tomorrow or like the day after tomorrow, and then being on the mend when the world.
I'll be good. I got a G19. I'll keister it in. We'll be good to go.
You'll be that meme, the dude just in the reclining chair, like fighting in World War III. Like, wait up for me, guys! I'm coming.
No, I'll just switch to the bolt gun. I'll play my strengths. We'll be fine.
I know two people that have had to get vertebrae fused, and both of them told me that it was probably one of the better things they'd ever done. One guy said his only regret was he didn't do it sooner.
That's what I'm afraid of. I spent the last 10 years trying to not do this surgery. So,
and I know you said you only want to get as little amount done as possible, but like if they go in there and they see that it's bad, I'm not you. I can't give you advice, but I would want them, like if they think it needs 3, I would have them do 3.
Yeah.
Because you know what I don't want to do?
Do it again.
Do it fucking again in like next year.
Yeah, but here's
year
the deal.
after.
I'm literally guaranteed at least 3 of these surgeries in my life because I have 6 more discs above the area they're worried about that are like fucking right there. So it's gonna happen at least 2 or 3 more times. So I'm gonna have at least 3 fucking fusions in my life.
The pain's less, but you get way less mobility though, right? Because
I think you lose 12 to 15% mobility each fusion.
Per
so like after 5 or 6,
you weren't touching your toes anyways.
Yes, I was. Even with my fucking big old muffin top, I can still touch my toes, and if I lift my muffin top up, I can still see my penis. It's good to go. So don't even be playing, bro.
If I pull back, I can still see it. Goddammit.
Yeah, my gut might touch the wall before my pecker, but not if I suck it in. We're good to go.
The fact of the matter is, though, if you can trade a little less mobility for being able to actually move, then that's a good trade.
Yeah.
That's the game plan, is so I can run and gun with my son, because I'm ready to start him running his 3-gun stuff with me, because I got the Glock 44 and I'm looking for a 22 AR, and so that'll be great. What is 12 to 15% mobility? DW01 says. Well, it's a lot less.
Well, yeah, and then you times that by 3, and now you're at like 45% reduction in mobility. That's like you can't even like bend over to touch your knees at that point.
I think at 3, I won't. Like I physically can't do a setup in my current injury. I haven't been able to do a setup for 10 years. But yeah, like I won't be able to bend in half after 3 or 4 fusions. So
yeah,
because
it's a trade-off, right? He'll be his quality of life as far as constant pain will be relieved, but the mental strain of having hard restrictions on movement, I think, is also another kick in the balls too, right? Because every time you go to pick something up and you're like, God damn it, I can't fucking reach that.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just going to drive you crazy. You know what I mean? Like every time you fall to a shortcoming because of your fusion surgery, it's just going to be one more jab in your brain, like doubt, like, should I have gotten this surgery? Like,
yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, my first injury, I crushed my sciatic nerve and I dislocated my hip. It came up 2 inches on my left side.
Oh,
so my sciatic was crushed for 3 days, 24 hours a day, right? And so that nerve damage is forever. So regardless of the fusion, I can't fix that. So
you ever tried shutting the nerve off?
Yeah, I've been to literally everything they can
do, and stuff like that. Like, yeah, all right.
Yep.
There's always like, yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to, when I first had my injury, they wanted to do that thing where they lay it on your spine and it takes 2 years to program to turn off all the nerves.
Yeah.
It was $1.2 million my cost for the surgery, and they weren't going to help with it. I don't know how to tell you this. I live in Nebraska, and I don't have $1.2 million at 23 when I hurt my back.
Yeah. That's.
Have you tried not being hurt? I have given that a shot the last decade. It hasn't worked out too hot for me. But no, I waived my work comp so I could work armed security because I had to wear a vest and a duty belt, and it was 50 pounds, and I was on a 10-pound restriction. So,
yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it is what it is.
as you get older and injured and things like that, you have to set your ego aside and ask for help and accept the help.
I'm too fat, Dom. The disc replacements they use is either a cadaver disc, which most people don't put in. Otherwise, the artificial disc they use is actually what they replace your knee with. And I have to be below 18% BMI, which is super hard to do when you, I don't know if you guys have been with me on my live chats, but when I'm walking around town, you know, I walk 7 miles and I'm limping back at the end of it. It's pretty hard to cut weight when everything you do puts you up where I can't fucking walk, you know, the next day or whatever.
Yep.
Work it off, TMT. I'm working on it. I'm working on it there, Grit.
Yeah, that's what happened with me, man. When my thyroid started giving out on me, it fucked up so much in my body that I like became immobilized, and then I like because I had worked so hard for so long that I had money saved up that I could just like be injured for a long period of time. You know what I mean? Or laid up for a long period of time. And then that kind of like started building up a lot of like mental problems as well too, you know, because now I'm just like a lazy good for nothing bum while my wife's going to work every day. You know what I mean? And this and that.
Oh, I know. I got really good at Destiny 2 on my injury.
Yeah. You know, and then, but then like my weight shot up like 50 pounds in like no time, you know, like once I stopped working every day, once I stopped doing this every day and like just getting lazy and fat. And then it was like, and it was like, you know, at one point, dude, somebody called me up and they're like, well, how you doing? What are you doing? And I was just like, dude, I'm just like waiting to die, man. And they're like, that's a problem, you know, I mean, you know, like, when you tell that to your friend, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like, I was kind of crying for help, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but that was actually like the day that I like turned my life around, you know. It was like almost 3 years ago now, you know what I mean? And I was just like, you know what, I'm done feeling sorry for myself. I'm done being a fucking fat loser that just sits around and feels bad and sorry for himself all day. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I hit almost 4 bills, and I cut 100 pounds last year working out, and then I hurt another disc working out with a plate carrier walking around town. I blew another one.
Man. So how did you become Gnostic?
How did I become a Gnostic? I mean, do you really want the answer to that? You might think of me a lot differently. Let's just say I was researching a very heated topic that when I came to the conclusion that I did, there was 2 roads ahead of me. There was that I believed in God or I didn't believe in God, right? And but I was raised Catholic. My parents, my family, all Christian, you know, born again Christians. But I knew for a fact that when I did come back to God, right, because my conclusion left no other choice but the existence of God. And I didn't want to go back to the Orthodox because of what the Orthodox, like I'd been raised Catholic, I'd been an altar boy, I'd seen Roman Catholicism, I'd seen the Orthodoxy, I've seen Christianity, I've seen what Christianity does to people, and that was not for me.
Wait a minute. Is it because you were the altar boy and you seen another area of the Catholic Church, or?
No, but my parish was shut down for those things, and I don't think that I did get those vibes from the priest and stuff, man. But I'd been a sports player my whole life, and I think I don't think the priest predated on like alpha, like male boys, you know what I mean? Like the ones that, you know, like cool kids in school, played sports, self-confidence, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they...
You trying to tell me they banged the betas?
Probably. If they did, right? Because, you know, I would have like I would have beat him to death with a candlestick if he tried. You know what I mean? You know, those long candlesticks that you light the tall candles with? You know, I would have beat him to death with one of those things. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I think he subconsciously knew not to try and mess with me. You know what I mean? But I knew that. Oh, well, not to mention, right? Like I do a lot of research into like the hidden past, like the Canaanites and the Babylonians connection to like the Bible and all of that. And I basically know that a lot of the Orthodox is surrounded by a lot of the corrupt nature of, you know, the esoteric and dark arts and stuff like that. And so then I stumbled upon Gnosticism, and it was like, holy shit. It was like the Bible's finally starting to make sense, looking at it through the Gnostic lens. You know what I mean? Like the origin story behind Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eden. When you look at it through the secret book of John, right? The unpublished book of John, right? And you see the creation story and you hear the creation story through that lens, it makes way more sense than it does currently in the Orthodox. Just Gnosticism in general, right? What do they always say? The kingdom of heaven is within you, right? Well, that's what the Gnostics say, but they mean it literally. That God is in us here, right? And that's what Gnostics preach, that God is in all of us. It's not an external deity to be worshipped. Christians are worshiping idols. Catholics worship idols. Jews worship idols. Muslims worship idols. Gnostics worship the divine spark within us that is God.
D.B. Cooper says, dude says, you know what I mean a lot. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Hey, it's a New England thing, you know? I'm sure wherever you come from has saying that you repeat all the time that you never notice as well. So
that's funny. We
also say, I'm not going to lie a lot, right? Like, I'm not going to lie, but, you know, so Gnostic literally translates to wisdom or knowledge, right? And agnostic means without knowledge. The church stole the word agnostic and what's that?
Hidden knowledge or protected knowledge.
What, agnostic?
No,
or Gnostic is it's like hidden knowledge, or basically it's like hidden knowledge, and so Gnostics are
like the Templars.
In a sense, yeah, but see, the Templars the Templars worshipped Baphomet, which is just a recreation of Abraxas, which is like the Gnostic deity, I guess you could say. So
wait a minute, I played Assassin's Creed. Don't be fucking with me. I know this.
What? Where do you think they're getting all these ideas from, my dude? It's the real history tied into video games. You know, it's our real earthly history hidden in fiction. They do it all the time. And they do it a lot in video games for some reason. I don't know why. If you're ever down, I'm huge.
There you go. Mid-tiers just invited you on there. You'll probably get on before me and mid-tier because we suck at lining up shit.
Sure, and I by no means am an expert at any of anything really. And my worldview and my belief structure is constantly changing all the time. Whenever new information comes in that like feeds into like my overall algorithm of like what I believe to be true in this world, you know, it's constantly changing, constantly shifting. I'm never tied down to a belief structure or anything. If you blow my mind with information that like, I'm just like, oh my God, dude, you just changed my life. Right. That you'll convert me. Right. You know, but you have to convince my logic, my critical thinking that, you know, your perspective is like more in tune than my perspective is, you know what I mean? And Gnosticism is just, it's salvation through knowledge, basically. And that's why I've chosen this, because you're not putting our salvation into sacrificial lamb, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? So according to Gnostics, mid-tier, when we die, we all kind of are cycled through the same system, I guess you could say. Now, according to the Gnostic traditions, the understanding of this system that we live in, this like controlled environment, that it's like a prison of birth and rebirth and death and reincarnation over and over again. Like, it's a way for our souls to mature, or either this is like a prison or something for our souls, and earth is like where our souls have come to either serve hard time or become more matured, I guess you could say, you know. And that's just basically the take that the Gnostics have, I guess. And there's a million subsets within that belief structure, just like Christianity, just like Catholicism, just like Muslims, just like Judean. Like, there's all kinds of different little sub-beliefs and this and that, right? That's just my interpretation of the information. I'm sure I just bored all of your viewers away, but
that's okay. I do that on the regular. No, man, we talk about all kinds of stuff here. It's just a good topic that hasn't partaken at this time at this channel. You know, I'm cool with whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe TMT will get a good back next try.
No, I'm just a filthy Methodist, but I don't believe that going to church makes you a Christian either. I'm a dirty Christian. I don't go to church every Sunday, so.
Yeah, and I'm like not trying to convert anybody. I'm just kind of giving, and I would never judge anybody for, like, you know, praising Jesus or anything like that, or Yeshua or whatever name you refer to him as. And actually, in the Gnostic tradition, Yeshua is like, you know, the main dude. You know what I mean? He's the guy, right? It's just Gnostics don't worship him. They worship the message that he was spreading to humanity, right? That's what they worship. They worship the gospel that he preached, not him. You know what I mean? And he didn't want them to worship him. And the apostles didn't get that, right? And there's so many gospels that never made it to the Bible. The Nag Hammadi library in Egypt, that had been buried since 150 AD, that they unearthed in 1944, right? So that had been sealed since the time of Jesus, and it has all these gospels: the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the Gospel of Judas. Judas was Jesus's most trusted apostle, right? That's why he had Judas turn him in, because Judas was the only one he could trust to do the job for him that he needed to get done. You know, so and this is not my opinion, right? This is literally what the gospels that were unearthed in Egypt say. You know what I mean?
What? I think if Jesus had a Glock 19 on his hip, things would have been a little bit better.
I'm pretty sure a lot of Judean people would have gotten capped if Jesus had a Glock 19. Not joking. So, you know, well, they say, how many AR-15s did Jesus own? And the response to that is not enough to be getting killed by his own government.
Well, that sounds eerily familiar in today's times.
So hopefully that answered your question, Lawfully Armed.
Yeah, Lawfully, look what you did. You went on. You made this a prepping and religion talk.
I mean, religion is a form of prepping to some people. So
that's true. My goal is 7 years. The 7 years.
I'm pretty sure prepping is in the Bible.
It's true. Multiple.
I think I'm going to make a second channel, and it's going to just be called Pine Box Prepper, and it's where I don't do shit except for buy a pine box.
We love you, Lawfully, but we already know that's never going to take off. So just stick with your channel you got. All right, guys, we've been going for almost 3 hours. I had a good time. I know I kind of stepped back from the YouTube, got busy doing things. I'm trying to do more regular stuff. It's Halloween season. I have a toddler. We are busy. I have surgery coming up. It's hunting season. It's holiday season. We're going to try and work out chats where we can. We'll see how it goes. Normal life happens before internet life. So
that's true.
We will get there. We'll knock some stuff out. I'll be hanging out with Mid-Tier Thoughts. Gnostic, you'll be welcome back anytime again, dude. It's always nice to have another. Yeah, man. It's always nice to have another brain to pick. I think we covered a lot of good critical think points and a lot of extremely upcoming events to sit back, take in. We did the critical think so that way you won't freeze. Yeah, that's kind of what we discussed. So go ahead and put your plan in action, whatever you think you need to do. If you need to go do a grocery run before the 1st and you don't have to even bother being in the mess, do it. If you have to go and buy a Walther PDP and get rid of Glock because you hate everything, go do that. If you need to look at your religion and deep dive into stuff, do that. Whatever is going to make you a better person and more confident in your life and every day and what you're doing. If you need to go have surgery, go do that. Do it. I mean, it's only going to make you, yours, and those around you better, right? If you're stronger. If you're the best you can be, you can help everybody else around you become even better, right? So let's do it. Let's go forth. Go from this day forward. Be the light. Be the positive. Be the sheepdog. Don't be a dumbass. And we can take it from there.
Oh, yeah.
Peace and chicken grease. That sounds delicious. I like that, Lovely. All right, y'all. Deuces.
Take care, chat.